Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another stream. Welcome to another stream. We're here to talk about experienced streamer, you know. We're here to talk about Liverpool Football Club. My club, you get me? We're here to talk about Liverpool Football Club. Beating Southampton Wednesday, you get me? We're going to be talking about what's going to happen this Sunday as well. There's a lot of stuff that's happening, you know, at our club. We might discuss a couple of contract situations, whatever it is. Regardless, big up to every single one of you guys. Apologies I couldn't stream earlier on today because I just had a busy day, innit? Joining us first on the channel, who should I introduce first? Let me introduce the English version of me, you get me? The only other emotional wreck on the stream. Man like Jazza, Jamie Phillips. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm not too bad.
Big up, brother. Big up. Joining us next is Kelleher's biggest fanboy, you get me? And me and him both share a deep hatred for Andy Robertson and Darwin Nunez. Joining us on the channel is the man himself, man like Kmack. How you doing, Kmack? Brother?
I'm good. And we do.
We definitely do.
We really do. Party time soon, mate. Party time.
Yeah, I hope so. You know that party stream right there is gonna hit. It's gonna hit like no other. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be preparing meals for that stream right there. But anyway, regardless,
sign me up for that one.
Yeah. Oh, you're all invited. Don't worry. Big up to you, Mike. Big up, Kmack. Someone that's definitely not invited to that stream is the only remaining Darwin Nunez fan in the whole universe, other than his wife and his children. Man like Endz is in the building. Hi, Endz.
I don't know why you're trying to turn me into the villain, but I don't mind, bro. I'll be the villain, bro. Big up, though. Big up everyone locked in, man.
Big up. I love this guy. He's a posh bastard. He was always late because it takes 8 minutes to make tea. I have no idea how you take 8 minutes to make a cup of tea. You could literally boil water from scratch and go and like plant tea in your garden and it'll still grow faster than 8 minutes. But this guy is just, you know, I don't know what the hell he does, you know, with his tea and stuff, you know. A little bit too posh for us, you know. Man like Raks in the building. Hi, Raks.
The art of a good tea is you need to let it brew. If you just pour in hot water and then chuck the tea bag out straight away, where's the fun in that? You're just drinking hot water, more or less. You got to let it brew. That takes time. Liverpool took 30 years to win the Premier League. We still enjoyed it, right? We almost enjoyed it.
No, we did not, brother. No, we did not.
Not maybe not.
We enjoyed 1 out of 30, not all of them.
I didn't enjoy the 30 years. Build up
30th one. The 30th one.
No, we did not, Habibi.
Maybe not the best analogy, but you know, I tried. You got to give me a bit of time to work up the correct analogy for tea boiling. I hadn't really thought about that one, but anyway, glad to be back. Thank you for inviting me, and good to see everybody else on the panel, man.
Big up to you, Rax. Joining us next, you know, I like the new version of him because just like Arne Slot, he's a little bit ruthless, you know. He no longer is player FC now. He actually wants Liverpool to win instead of backing the players, you know, certain player. 50 big chances missed. He's fully jumped off the ship now, so I acknowledge that. I'm not going to intro him as the Nunez guy anymore. Man like Mike is in the building. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, but by bringing in his name, you are automatically tying me to the player. So, you know, I know that you were trying to do a good thing there, but you accidentally also did a bad thing. But anyway, big up to everybody. And,
I said you're no longer part of the train. How's that a bad thing?
Yeah, but you know, but you're annotating his name with mine in the same sentence. So, you know, thereby connecting us.
Fairs. I see what you're saying. Joining us next on the channel, I absolutely love working with this guy. Even though he responds 24 hours later to a text message, and then he calls me Jay-Z. I don't know how that makes sense to me. I absolutely love working with this guy. Him and Endz, you get me? They both obviously coach football, you know, so they're kind of part of the game in a different way, you know, on a more technical basis. They're a lot more involved in the game probably than any of us on the stream. Man like JJ is in the building. Hi, JJ. How you doing, brother?
Big up.
You're on mute. Experienced streamer.
Do it is. I'm not used to this technology. As I said, I'm used to being on the field, but big up to everyone. Yeah, happy to be on, man. Happy to be on. Let's get it cracking, man.
Big up to you. Big up to every single person locked in. Big up to all of you guys. Absolutely incredible, amazing people in the building. We already have 250 people locked in. We haven't even started the stream yet. So big up to all of you. Please do like the video, do subscribe. You already know how the stream gets. I'm sure we will argue. I'm sure we're going to disagree on a couple of things. So I don't want to keep stopping the arguments to tell you guys to like and subscribe. So please do like and subscribe. And today's stream is about these guys right here. Because in the Liverpool community, we need to help each other grow. We need to help each other, you know, get to the high levels. And I still remember, listen, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was happy to see 20 people watching me. It's a journey on YouTube. So please, before you even carry on with the stream, go subscribe to every single one of these guys' channels. Kmack's channel is in the description. Go subscribe. Jamie Phillips Football Chats. Go subscribe. Raks don't have a channel, but go follow him on Twitter. Go follow Jerry's channel as well. It's in the description. Football with Endz. Sometimes you see me in the comments just irritating Endz. Go subscribe to him. Mike Das LFC. I'm sure he's going to upload at some point in time. So please do subscribe and support them, because without the community, without these amazing people joining us today, you know, this stream wouldn't be possible. So big up to all of you guys. Like, subscribe, and go subscribe to all these guys as well. Jerry, Liverpool this week. Obviously, we had the draw against Fulham. Then after that, we had the win against Southampton. Just take me through Liverpool this week before we open the floor up.
The draw was disappointing as a result. I think it's just fair to put it that way. In the context of it, it was a good draw. Obviously, you never want to draw back-to-back games. A draw is always good if you win the next game. I think if you draw 2 games, you'd prefer, obviously mathematically, just to lose 1 game and win the next one, because you get actually more points. So, look, I think we're lucky when we're looking at the league. I think we're really, really lucky because Arsenal dropped points, City dropped points, and obviously you're looking at it thinking, well, City actually didn't drop points, but you're looking at it thinking, yeah, you know what? This actually might be our year. And of course, Chelsea are obviously in the mix as well in regards to points. But at this moment in time, I don't look at them as real challengers, in my opinion, personally. So it gives me kind of confidence when you look at that and think, oh, Liverpool got away with one, really. But still obviously managed to keep a good, healthy kind of gap with obviously a game in hand. Moving on to the game against Southampton, really intriguing just to see obviously Slot utilize his squad for the first time, really, to like a larger extent with the rotations. You know, Trainioni coming in, seeing Morton, Endo playing, a mix of obviously couple older heads there with McAllister, obviously with the suspension, and Trent playing and stuff. It was interesting to just go and see the dynamic of how the team would actually try and play. And I was really, really impressed in terms of the tactical understanding more so than anything. Like, look, they scored a really good goal. You could probably criticize them, but as a whole, as a team, I think everyone played really, really well. I don't think there's anyone there you can really point a finger at and say you had a bad game. Might have had a bad moment, but I think in general, I think everyone had a really good game. I think the way Endo was rotating with Trent into midfield, and they were doing it, do you know what I mean, with the kind of chemistry that you need to have when you want to win games. Yeah, big up to them, man. So, yeah, apart from that, look positive. We've got Tottenham, we'll probably obviously discuss, obviously coming into the game. But, yeah, man, top. Look, Liverpool right now are just doing everything correctly, innit? Even when the stuff isn't going well, I'm still quite positive. So, yeah, big up to Slot. Obviously, we'll talk about it in more depth in terms of how Slot was able to navigate the Fulham game and stuff. But, again, Liverpool win, innit? Liverpool win, and we still want an unbeaten run. So that's the positive to take out of this week, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I thought, you know, on the weekend against Fulham, you know, I think Slot showed his tactical side of the game. You know, he didn't panic. A lot of teams would immediately make a substitution after, you know, a red card. And
Jamie, sorry to interrupt you. Just give me 1 second, please. Just one quick second. I'm so glad you got cooked on Twitter for your Robertson is better than Alphonso Davies opinion, and you're going to hold this time out on the stream as well. Go ahead, Jamie.
Jesus Christ. Slot's tactical awareness in that game was excellent. I like the fact he didn't make a substitution straight away and tried to work it out as the game went on. You know, he went to 3 at the back. He knew it weren't working, and eventually got his formation and system set up. And I believe after the 10 men, we were the more dominant team, scored the most goals, had the most possessions, shots on targets, touches in the opposition box. So we looked like the team that actually had 11 men. So, yeah, we made a mistake for their second goal. That's going to happen when you got a man disadvantage. But, you know, I think Slot showed in that game that he's got the balls, you know, and the guts and the tactical ability to change games without always having to use your bench constantly. You know, trusting what you got in the pitch, move it around. You know, not like a certain Spanish manager who just goes 10 behind the ball straight away. You know, you attack oppositions and you try and get something out of the game. And unfortunately, look, we didn't win the game of football, but, you know, I think if that was 11 men on the pitch, I think we end up with 3 points. There's no doubt about that. So the weekend, you know, the result weren't the greatest, but the performance and the tactical side of what Slot did showed me that we're going to go far this season. And then midweek with the Southampton game away from home, with the team that he picked, you know, I think if we went out the cup, I don't think Slot would have argued too much or moaned too much. But going through with the team he picked again shows we got players that want to play for him, want to make their mark. I thought Endo was excellent. I think he proved that he can be an important player for us this season going forward in games. You know, you don't have to start him all the time, but Endo can be relied on, you know, if you need him. And, you know, I thought he was very good in that centre-back position, swapping with Trent quite a lot. I think our first goal came from when he swapped with Trent and Trent went into that centre-back position with a long ball to Darwin, you know, and Endo went into that midfield area. Yeah, so again, got it right, and we're through to a semi-final on top of the league, top of Europe. Everything's going good at the moment. Obviously, 2 draws in a row doesn't... You don't want that to continue. We need to win our next 2 Premier League games, but can't really complain at the moment, can we? It's going so well.
I want to kind of elaborate on that as well, because I think that was our blip. You know, the way every season you have a bit of a lull and you struggle to get through games, and you maybe get a loss, you maybe get a draw. I think that was what we've just gone through, because if you look at it, we've had a grueling schedule. We played quite a lot of hard teams. Like, let's be honest, that 11-game run, like, it was a murder run, wasn't it? Where we had Man City, Real Madrid, Leverkusen. You know, we had pretty much like most of the teams that won their leagues all back to back, and we managed to get through that with flying colours. And then we picked up a load of injuries, and we were down to the fact we only had really 5 defenders, and we've managed to scrape through and still pick up points in games that really, with the chances and the adversity that we had with a man down, with all of our midfield booked in like the first 10 minutes, you know, we probably should have lost some of those games, and we've managed to navigate that with points and then rest a load of our players in that Southampton game, get a few minutes in some of the legs of players which are coming back in the likes of Chiesa and Jota and even Tsimikas, which is great news. And now we've got another couple of games to go where we can then just pick up those points and keep on carrying on with, you know, that point lead that we've got. I mean, it's 2 points we've got. If we can continue that, then Chelsea will slip up, because Chelsea have got a couple of easy games coming up, but they've got some hard games. And Chelsea haven't really gone on an unbeaten run in a long time. I think like 2021 was like the last time they had a really long unbeaten run. And we haven't been beaten since Forest. Like, we're still kind of thinking that we've been beaten because some of the games that we drew. Like, there's people thinking that we lost against Arsenal. We didn't lose against Arsenal. We didn't lose against Newcastle. We drew these games, so we still picked up points. And that's what we just want to keep on doing. And I just think the fact that we've had a little bit of break with people now, you know, McAllister's had a game off, 2 games off where we had a rest. You know, we've managed to rest Salah and Virgil for the whole of the week now. So we're going to go into that Tottenham game fresh air, because they just had a grueling game where they were 3-0 up and then nearly lost it. So, you know, I think we hit the ground running on Sunday, and then we can kick on. And maybe February, March, we could have the leagues thrown up.
I mean, I know everyone's being super positive.
We're not
It's
gonna
just-
we're not gonna have the league set up in February. I think
but
that's.
Yeah, we could.
I'm gonna put a little bit of a damper on the mood here because everyone's lifting up. I just gotta kind of bring everyone back down a tiny bit. I gotta disagree a little bit with Jerry because I think that there are specific players that deserve criticism for the way they've played the last 2 games. Number one, I know that we can't be Salah and Inshallah FC, right? Like it's crazy that he's got 75% of our goal contributions. But outside of the assist against Fulham, I thought that he was very wasteful. Specifically, when you look at the one chance when Soboslai was on the counter after the corner, he doesn't hit the target, right? Like I don't care that he didn't score. I care that he doesn't hit the target. That's my big thing. Like,
by the way, I was
Nunez...
just talking about Southampton game. I wasn't talking about the Fulham game.
I got you. But even then, I thought that Darwin was incredibly wasteful against Southampton. He took his goal well, but it was very fortunate. And outside of that, the amount of times that he gave away possession.
Husam, I never mentioned Darwin, by the way. It's Mike now.
but looking at the Fulham game, I thought that Salah was wasteful. But again, I'm not going to be too harsh on it. Right? He's got 75% of our goal contributions. But my biggest gripe with a striker, if you get a chance on goal, get it on target. If it's not on target, I'm going to be angry no matter who you are. I don't care if you score 80 goals a season. If you're right in front of the keeper, hit the target. Let him make the save. I thought that Trent was very poor in that Fulham game. Offensively, he wasn't providing very much. And when we were down to 10 men, listen, I know that you got to play a different shape when you have 10 men, right? But the first time that he gets cooked for being 5 yards out of position, he doesn't adjust. And all of a sudden, Fulham just attacked down that left-hand side the rest of the game, and that's where their goal came from. That's where that second goal came from. And that's his position. That's his job to secure. And then, of course, he gets taken off, and then we score the equalizer. When it comes to Darwin, I thought that, listen, he's just him, right? He's wasteful. He gets a couple goals here and there. I thought that, first of all, Trent's pass that led to that ball was beyond overhit. Like that's go straight to the keeper. So the fact that the defender hit it, blind luck. He takes his goal very well, not taking anything away from him there. But after that moment, the amount of times that Darwin got the ball and the first touch flick is 60 yards in the wrong direction, or the pass is just going 40 yards in the wrong direction and he's conceding possession. I can't have that from a striker. I can't have it to where every time you touch the ball, it ends up with the other team, which is kind of like what Trent is right now. Like Trent provides moments. Yes, he provided them against City. Unbelievable pass, like world-class vision. Provided against Arsenal, world-class vision. No one else in this team can do that. But the issue that I have is for every one of those passes, I get 9 shit forward balls, right? He's so wasteful offensively right now. And I'm not going to take away from what he's doing defensively when we have 11 men on the pitch, because it has improved. But what made him the best right back in the world is no longer a consistency, and it is now a moments thing. It may happen, it may not, but for the most part, I can count on him to not make something happen. And that's the gripe that I have with him right now, because you can't be like that. You cannot be wasteful if you're supposed to be the creator. But listen, outside of that,
on that point, then, before you move on, Mike, so do you think that's down to him as a player, like he's not wanting to get in those positions and be free and pick up the ball wherever he wants, or do you think that's more down to the system?
Well, okay, so
because just to put to that point, he comes on against Newcastle and changes the game completely.
100%
to just affect the game. Now, when you're starting a game, and
that's a different position, Jerry.
What do you mean?
Newcastle, he's brought on as to come inverted. To do the underlapping runs.
To affect the game because he was coming inside, he was overlapping.
Yeah, he was brought on with those tactics in mind.
I do think some of it is system based, right? Like I think that some of the position that he has to occupy, he's trying to force it, right? So it's a give and take there. Like if you're playing an 80-yard switch every time you get the ball, okay, maybe that's a system thing, but also at the same time, I highly doubt that Arne Slot is telling you to just kick the ball as hard as you can at the opposing team, right? So yes, you could say a little bit of it is system-based, but on the other end, you're still being incredibly wasteful. Like it reminds me in the game against Arsenal, right? where he essentially every time he gets the ball, he's kicking it long, it gets deflected, it goes to the other team. Again, I believe in his potential. I just think that right now his offensive part of the game is not up to par. It's not the same. It's not as consistent. Of course, he has the capabilities, and this isn't. I'm not denouncing Trent, and I'm not saying that he's not capable or he's not good enough anymore. But the consistency is no longer there, and I would prefer consistency over a moment every other or every 3 games because I want consistency out of that position.
Mike,
Mike, in reality, how does that manifest itself right now? Because, I mean, if you're not playing Trent at right back, I mean, there is no real alternative.
Exactly. We don't have a choice right now, which is why he needs to get better. Because honestly, the way that Connor Bradley plays, I would rather have Bradley there. He was unbelievable against Real Madrid. If Connor Bradley plays the way that he played against Real Madrid week in, week out, or more consistently than Trent has played this season, then I would put Connor Bradley there. I know he's made a couple of mistakes defensively, but offensively he has shown more.
No, but against that Nottingham Forest, he was poor though. The game before, 100%. Remember the narrative going into that Real Madrid game.
He was the reason we gave up the goal.
Bradley against Mbappe or Vinicius, we are cooked, we are finished. So we're only basing it based off one game where he did really, really well. And that's the difference, is that when you go and play a player on a consistent basis, then you go and see, is he having that impact? Is he having that effect or not? Because
I was just using that as an example. I don't think it's just that game.
Do you think that Trent is doing more long balls now than he was under Klopp? So Slot's already trying to take that out of his game. Okay, so that's a positive.
No,
because he was shanking long balls last season all over the shop. Yeah. And they were needlessly going up in the air and they were giving back possession. So he's reducing doing that, which is a good thing. But now he's just a basic right back. So wait, like, what are the real positives about having Trent in the team right now? Like, it's a genuine question.
No, but the positives are, ironically,
he's not creating assists. His crossings.
No, but ironically, what the positive is, this is what I think is we have to just get used to. Whereas before, the system was all about Trent from a creative standpoint. Can we get Salah in the box? Can Trent deliver? And it was then, can Trent come into midfield after he obviously played at right back? Now that role has changed. The only reason you have Trent in the team is because in a moment he can win you a game. It's not going to be on a consistent level. It's because he's not getting into those same positions. You saw it against Southampton. He's playing deeper than he probably ever has. He's playing part of a back 3 at times when someone comes in. So from that perspective, he's not going to go and get the same amount of assists because he's not in those same situations. But what he will give you is in that odd game when you need it, he might put in that delivery that goes and wins you the game. And that's why you have a player like that. It's for the moment, ironically, not the consistency now because it's a different system.
But if you use Fulham as an example, that's a liability. Like letting players run past you and not doing your defensive work. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. At the moment with Trent, like you really are. Like
I think
I'm not.
I'm not being like as polarizing as that. When I say consistency, I'm not saying that I want Trent to play a superhero moment every game. What I'm saying is that I want Trent to not have a 60% pass accuracy every single game. I want to see Trent stop losing possession 4, 5, 6 times a game needlessly, in my opinion. I don't want more assists. I don't want more world-class balls because those just come, right? And he's perfectly capable of doing it. And my criticism has nothing to do with his ability to play the balls like he did against Manchester City. No one else on this team could do that. No one else could play that pass to Darwin Nunez against Arsenal and get the equalizer, right? Maybe Virgil on an odd day here, but no one else in this team can do that. I don't want more of that. I want more of the basics. I want you to do the basics better, the fundamentals better, build up play better, and stop conceding possession as often as you're doing it. Do that, and I think that everything else is typically fine. Again, it's one.
Unfortunately, I do have to agree with Mike here. Let me tell you why I agree with Mike. Look, everyone here knows Trent's my favorite player. I'm a massive fan of Trent. But the issue that I had over this last, let's say, 10 days, he had 3 completely different games. Newcastle, he was absolutely unbelievable. Against Fulham, Robertson got sent off, and Trent still had a shout to be the worst fullback on the pitch. Southampton, 50-50 in between the Newcastle and Fulham performance. The issue that I have with Trent is not defensively right now. The issue that I have for Trent is it's almost like he's looking for that hero ball pass every time he gets the ball. And that's the genuine issue that I have with it. I understand that the nature of Trent is a risk-taking player, and he's supposed to take risks, and he's supposed to, try to play that ball in behind. The only thing I'm questioning is how often he does it. That's the issue that I have with Trent's game recently. I feel like against Fulham specifically, I noticed this the most. Every time Trent got the ball, it's like he wants to play a 40-yard diagonal every time. I'm like, and some of them were kind of momentum killers too, because we worked so hard to get the ball off of Fulham's hands. We're passing the ball really well. Trent then gets it, decides to play a 40-yard diagonal that misses or goes to a Fulham player. I mean, I think he only hit like 50% of his long balls or something like that, even less maybe against Fulham. So these kind of things,
3 out of
maybe
16.
Yeah, these things
Really
maybe kind
bad.
of ruin your momentum. But at the same time, one thing I will say though is certain games, Trent is like a nuclear weapon. And we're about to see this Sunday. Against Spurs, as an example, I want you to do the long ball because we're going to absolutely send their back line to hell, the deepest forms of hell. If he is accurate with the long balls, of course. Like if he actually plays those accurate long balls in behind to the likes of Mo, to the likes of Gakpo, to the likes of Jota, to the likes of Diaz, I think that could be the catalyst for us to create havoc in that back line and create chances. All I'm questioning is the application a little bit of him going forward and the volume. That's the one thing that I'm questioning. Because at some points in time against Fulham, I felt like if you could just keep it a bit simple, keep it ticking, pass left, pass right a little bit, keep possession, we'd have broken Fulham down better. That's what I honestly think about this Trent conversation.
I personally think Trent plays better when he inverts into a centre-back. I think he gets more freedom in that position. When he inverts into a centre-back and he's one of a three and he's allowed to come forward a little bit and he's still got the protection of a double pivot in front of him, and he can start using the ball and get into that space because he's not getting pressed in that space. So if you can use Trent in that area of the pitch, I think that's where you get the best out of him. I think that's something Slot might look to use in coming games. But my whole thing with Trent is, and it always will be, it's his application to the game. We know Trent's not the greatest defender on earth. It's not like he can't defend. Sometimes I just feel it's like it's his application. Does he want to do stuff? Against Fulham, I literally saw the man give up. And that's just application. As Sam said, Robbo got sent off, and arguably Trent was the worst fullback on the day because it was application, to his game. And that's always been the thing with Trent, always. But look, if you can get Trent in the right system tactically, Trent's going to be a weapon for your football club. That's why Real Madrid want him. Because if you can use him tactically, it'd be a weapon for you. I just feel like Liverpool haven't found out under Slot yet how to use him correctly tactically in a system, but he might have found it a little bit in the Southampton game in the League Cup. I just think Trent can be deadly from that position. I don't know what you guys think.
The worry I've got with Trent, and I've said this a number of times now, is now we're getting targeted on the right hand side. Like 23% of more of the possession on the opposition is now going down the right hand side than it did before at the start of the season, and it's the reason why we're conceding a lot of goals is because Knate's not on the team. Like, Gomez has been great when he's come in. Quansah's been decent when he's come in. Like he's had a lot of criticism, but which I don't think is completely down to him, to be honest. He hasn't made that many mistakes. But the opposition are now looking at a weaker link, which is down the right-hand side, because Knate's not there. And Knate's just a monster. He's just a machine that he covers Trent so well. Like, I'm not saying he's the reason why he was injured. Like, he's not. Like, it was a horrible tackle by Endz, dirty little bastard, to be fair.
It was really Virgil. Virgil's
yeah. Well, he kind of fell into him as well. He pushed him into him, didn't he? But he went for him before as well. But that's the issue I've got, is we're conceding goals now, which means we have to score more goals. So then we have to switch to look at the the other side of the game. So we've kind of looked at Trent. Now we're looking at the other side of the game, and we've conceded more goals in the last 5 games than we have in the previous 15. We just have. And it's because we're missing Konate. Konate's just been so important to us. The partnership him and Virgil van Dijk have had this season has been insane.
That's partially true,
Yeah.
but it's also a bit misleading because the first 10 games of the season or whatever, we were looking at the numbers we were putting up defensively were equaling conceding, bettering Chelsea 16 games, the goals conceded a season. So that there was always going to be a reversion to the mean. That was not going to happen. That was always, it was always going to happen. We were going to start conceding a few more goals. Obviously, when you lose Konate, then he's, like you say, absolutely, he's a monster defensively. But Trent is one of the untouchables for me. I think we need to get as much out of him defensively as we can, but he is like Husam said, a nuclear weapon, and I think that's the kind of jack in the box that hardly any team in the Premier League has, and to see that to talk about, even Bradley's a good player. Don't get me wrong, he's a very good young player, but he's not anywhere near the league of in terms of proven ability that Trent's got. So great, when he comes in, fantastic. I want him to perform just like when Gomez has come in, he's done okay. But ultimately, Trent is and should be, for as long as he's at the club, our right back.
Yeah, but that's viewing it from the potential perspective, right? A problem that I think that many clubs have is that players get to a certain level, and then once they get to that certain level, everyone views them like they're at that level for the rest of their life, and as if they have no ability to ever dip below that. And that creates a bias, right? Trent, on paper, potentially is the best right back that we've had probably ever, right? But the fact of the matter is, on the pitch, he has been more wasteful this year than I have ever seen him been, right? When he has been consistently starting, this is the most wasteful Trent I have ever seen in my entire life. And the problem is that affects the rest of play. And so, yes, we can put him on a pedestal and we can say that because of what he can give us, he is that X factor. Even if he is in poor form, one of those passes might be the one that unlocks a goal, and I'm willing to forego all of the other mistakes that he makes in the game for that. People probably do the same thing.
Do you think he's been, Mike, just to understand, do you think he's been worse than he was, couple seasons ago when Nunez came in?
No, I think he was.
No, that was his worst season.
I don't think he's been that bad, but
mad. I feel like the beginning of the season, right? There was this talk of, oh my God, Trent, look how he's locking up defenders. He's doing so well. It doesn't matter about his assist because slot or whatever. I'm not saying this is what you're saying, but that was the story I was hearing. He then was really, really good. Got injured, right? Came back from injury, I think, against Newcastle. He was on the bench. He didn't even start the game as a result, right? Mm-hmm. Bads the game up.
We had to play him.
Exactly. He had to play him. Bads the game up, where arguably forget Salah. He was the best player on the pitch when he came on. He's the one that changed the game. He then goes into the Fulham game, right? And he's not up to scratch. And now it's like, yeah, but you know what, Trent, I think he's, the worst. I think he's the most wasteful we've seen.
I've had this opinion of Trent for months, though. I've said the same thing on every Friday for 6 weeks, that his fundamentals have taken a massive step backwards. It's not about his assists. It's not about his goal contributions. It's not about his wonder moments. It's about the simple 20-yard balls. It's about maintaining possession. It's about transition. It's about hero ball. The criticism here is not on Trent as a whole. It's about one compartment of his game. That's it. One little section of his game.
No, the hero ball thing I hear. I think I get frustrated when you keep giving away the ball. But the other stuff, apart from that, I don't think I don't look at there and think, oh, you know what? He's been terrible. Even defensively, if you break down that Fulham game, right? If now the whole position's changed, then he's at the back, but he's asked to fill in midfield. The issue that you get at the end of the day is the same issue you had when he was inverting for Klopp. is that he's vacating that area, so he's never going to get back. And there's only so many times you can go, and I'm telling you now, do a box-to-box sprint before your legs go in it, and you can't carry on just doing it unless you just sit in. But if he's being asked to come invert and come and be in the center and pick up the ball here, he's not going to be in the other position if you lose the ball.
But that's the question. But that's the question.
It's not even a trade thing, by the way.
Is he being asked to do that, or is he just doing that because that's what he's always done?
I'm telling you now. If he was doing that, and I'm talking from a coach's perspective, and he doesn't want to, and Slot is like, I don't want you to do that.
But he has subbed him. But he has subbed him in those games.
Yeah, but that was only one game.
Because he wasn't playing. Like that's just simple. He just wouldn't play.
Okay. So if you want to look at one specific scenario in that Fulham game,
You're getting called out, Mike.
But the problem with the Fulham, Mike, the problem with analysing the Fulham game is that obviously after 20 minutes we're down to 10 men.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I think it's very difficult to read into that too much because by the very nature, like we played exceptionally well with 10 men and we dominated the game with 10 men, but ultimately you're covering even bigger spaces than you ordinarily would. So everybody is to some extent is going to be out of position because you just can't physically.
Let me just say one thing. You guys are gegenpressing Mike here. I'm gonna be the Konate to his Trent.
You're not even allowing me to rebuttal the point that.
I'm gonna agree with you here. Let me just say one thing. Look,
he wasn't.
I know what I agree with what Mike is saying to the most part, which is I'm questioning the volume at which he does these things. That's the issue that I have the most. You can't be doing 6, 7, like 8, 9, 10. Like you just every time long ball. That's the part that irritated me the most against Fulham. And with his defensive work, Jerry's 100% right. Yes. And this is something that Mike as well has spoken about on every Friday show. He has been very solid defensively this season. I don't think anyone can deny. This is probably his best defensive season ever. Other than the mistake he had against Fulham where he was kind of jogging a bit or whatever. Other than that, like he's had an unbelievable defensive season. It's just I'm just looking at him going forward a little bit, and I'm going like, okay, you're a lot better than this. And he's shown this against Newcastle. Like the game that you say, okay, he came on and changed the game. He did, yes. Against Newcastle, he was fantastic. But I want to see more of it. The one thing I don't like about this conversation, and let me just call out one quick thing. Bradley revisionism is nuts. Bradley had one unbelievable game against Real Madrid. The rest of the season, he was either above average or just good. Bradley is nowhere near as special as Trent. He's a serviceable fullback. I'll give you a quick example, genuinely now. Who wants Trent? Real Madrid. If Bradley were to leave Liverpool Football Club tomorrow, would he sign for Arsenal? No. Would he sign for City? No. Would he sign for any of the top boy clubs? No. He could probably sign maybe a Newcastle. He could probably sign for a club like that. Yes. But Bradley revisionism is insane. We can't act like Bradley can replace what Trent gives us. No, he can't. No, he can't. He's not better than him in any way, shape, or form. But at the same time, Trent's decision making going forward needs to be better. Yes, you're locking up wingers defensively now. By the way, he did it against Leao. He did it against someone like the dribbler wingers, like in the world, where he's like, I'm going to stop you today. And he took pride in his defensive work, which we all enjoy. But at the same time, going forward, even if you don't get as many assists as you got before, but I'm looking at him to be a bit more active, at least in the final third with the passing, a bit more accurate, not looking for the hero ball pass every single time. That's the issue that I have with him.
Have we got to get away from the fact we're used to Trent as a youngster being our creative player, but now he doesn't need to be. So do we just have to get away from that and just have Trent as a right back now? No, he's just a right back, and he's going to be a good one who has excellent moments that he can do things that no other right back can do in the odd game here and there. Do we have to go that way now? Because look, it's obvious we're almost at Christmas time, and Slot doesn't really use Trent like Klopp did. He's not his creative outlet. So if he's not his creative outlet, we can't be sitting there expecting him still to be our creative outlet. So if he's going to be this defensive fullback and he wants to take pride in his defensive work, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Just show me your.
Yeah, but then who's your creator?
Can I ask you all a serious question?
No, but obviously,
really serious question. Okay, Trent has got a couple of weeks left before his contract runs out, before he can sign for another club. Like
a couple of weeks, 9 days, mate.
A serious question to everyone here: if we sign him up on a £300,000 contract, which he wants, for another 5 years, do you genuinely trust Trent to be a defensive right back for the rest of his career under Slot?
No, but
That's the
that would
question.
be a failure. No,
Because
no,
I
but
don't.
that's
Because I don't.
fine. But I don't think Slot's looking for a defensive right back. I think he's got
But
his
he's looking for an
principles.
attacking left back.
I think he's got his principle. Not even really. If you look at the positions Robertson's taken up, he's so narrow as a fullback. He wants someone to get on the ball. He wants someone comfortable. He's not doing what Robertson was doing under Klopp. What it is for me is quite simple. You have a manager that's got his set ways of how he wants to play, right? Like, and yes, he's flexible in terms of how he does it, but his principles are still the same. So if he doesn't require his fullbacks to get forward and get, really, really high and wide, right? Because those aren't his principles. What's he going to say? He's going to sit there and be like, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to use you here, but I still need to get the best out of you. Now, on the point of the hero ball, right? One thing I'll go and give you an insight into, right? Went to a game the other day, top level game. And I was speaking to someone that plays for the top level game. And they spoke about the fact that certain teams will go and do certain things to go and test what the opposition will do. That, like when you play football at that level, those are certain things they do. The same way a boxer will go and flinch and lift his arm up, lift his left arm, pretend to throw it straight to go and see how the opposition react. So when you've got someone like Trent, right, and the way Slot has been and how ruthless he's been in terms of what he wants, if you perform badly, he's not afraid to take you off at half time and everything, right? You feel that is not a direct discussion with Trent saying, I want you to play that pass. I want you to play that pass. Because what happens when you've got pressure like this and you've got someone like Trent that can whip a ball like that, sometimes it might not work. But what it does, it makes the defenders think the ball's going to come long, which then allows a space for our midfielders to go and run and penetrate that way. Because we're not the most creative when there is a low block like that at all. So when you're sitting a bit deeper and you have the option to go long, right, and you've got someone that can play that pass, the reason why you play that pass isn't always to go and find Luis Diaz's feet, as an example, or Salah's feet. What it might be is if we can play that ball, does that threaten them? Because that run of Salah, do you know what I mean? Salah might make 5 runs in behind. He might not get it, but the 6th run, he'll drop in short, and then that pass is played into him. You can then go and attack from there, but you don't see that, of course, when you're just watching the game. You're looking, thinking, he's playing the pass and it's not going to anyone. We keep losing the ball. And I agree. Me personally, I think sometimes he overdoes it. I think that's a discussion we can have about the volume. I think Husam's fine. But I think we've got to also have the understanding of, like, the manager's not an idiot, innit? So if I'm telling you now, if you were playing for Pep and you've done that, you'd be off in like 5 minutes. Because
we don't have another right back that, like, with.
He could play Gomez there. He could play Endo there. I've seen him play. I've seen him play as a centre back now. He's played Gravenberch as a 6 when we never thought he would do that. Do you know what I mean? We've seen Diaz in the number 9 position, right? We've seen Diaz in the number 9 position when Nunez was on the bench, right? When your number 9 was on the bench. So sorry, this guy, this manager's like, do you know what I mean? You can obviously discuss it, but Trent's in the team for a reason, and something as big as going hero ball or playing a long pass, right? Whether we agree with it or not, that for me, in my opinion, is like, do you know what I mean? It's an agreement. It's like, I want you to do that, because otherwise you wouldn't do it. Could you be? It's mental. Like if Walker kept playing a 50-yard pass, he'd be off in a sec, and they play. You play anyone there, and Endz, you can jump in because you're the test to this as well.
Nah, listen, bro. I'm just trying to think about what the solution is, because it feels like someone to get rid of Trent and someone to keep Trent. So what is the solution then, guys? We want him out? What's going on?
No one here said that they wanted to get rid of Trent.
No, but I get what you're saying, because you're picking on a little section of his game you'd like to see improvement, but the rest of the guys are like, well, nah, we need him in the team. So I'm asking, what is the solution? And do we just get rid of him and give Bradley the opportunity, or sign someone else? Or do we just know that's what Trent is going to be about? He's going to have some moments where he's lackadaisical when it comes to defending, and then we know we're going to get a wonderful assist in a game, or a mad free kick out of nowhere, or a great delivery from a set piece. So what is it? We have to weigh up the pros and cons when it comes to Trent.
To be fair,
let me just answer the question, because I do want to wrap up on this Trent conversation. I'll just answer the question this way. Everyone's making very valid points here, so it's been a very enjoyable debate to listen to. But here's the thing with this conversation. I don't think, and Mo's been a fraud in the chat, but this point he makes is actually a fair enough point. I think Kmack's question is a straw man argument because you can't look at the generational talent. Probably one of the most, if not the most talented fullback we've seen in the modern game, and go like, can he just be a defensive fullback? If that's the case, we can go get Wan-Bissaka for 5 million and he'll defend for 90 minutes. It's just that's not what we're looking for here. I think criticism is fair, but Trent is still probably the best right back in the world, which is why Real Madrid do want him. And I'm looking at the solution. I don't think Trent is a problem to begin with, but knowing our club and the way we operate, they probably are looking at Bradley as the Trent replacement, which I don't think I want to see, to be honest with you. Now, in terms of Jamie's point, which is a fair point in terms of like, okay, do we just have to look at him as just the right back? The reason why I don't think we can afford to specifically is, look, other clubs like an Arsenal, let's say, like a Manchester City, like a Real Madrid, the best clubs in the world right now, they have a lot of different creators. The issue that we have is we have one main creator in Mo, and then after that, it's like, maybe McAllister can make a pass every now and then. Maybe Gravenberg can dribble from deep, get through 4 or 5 guys and make a pass after that. Maybe like, but other than that, we're not like really a team that's filled with creativity, which is why I do need my right back to actually be creative, because that helps with the forward line getting involved. That helps because, listen, let's be serious here. Szoboszlai is not really that good of a creator. Gravenberg is not really that good of a creator. Elliot, maybe, yes, but we haven't had a great sample size of it, which is why I do need my fullback to be a creator. And that's why, like, my honest response to that. But anyway, look, let me just do these super chats quickly before we move on to start talking about the Spurs game. Big up everyone locked in, even at this point in time at night. And even the fact that it's a Friday night, we have 600 people locked in. So big up to every single one of you guys. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. And please go subscribe to all these guys' channels. It's all in the description. It was a fantastic Trent debate we had just now. Big up to Crane X Fitness, who just sends in a super chat. Thanks so much, my brother. Appreciate you. Big up to you. Doubles in chat for my guy, Gagan Deep. Big up to you, Gagan Deep. He says, which one of the 3 would you let go? For me, it would be Trent, because there isn't a centre back in world football on Virgil van Dijk's level. Same goes for right wing on Mo's level. Whereas you have quality, conventional right backs that will fit the system. I'm not going to speak for everyone on the panel, but I'd assume everyone would say Trent is the one that they'd get rid of. Okay, just hands up. Does anyone here have a different answer to Trent? Okay. So, look, here's the thing. Mo is...
Hang on. Rak said earlier he's
untouchable.
And he's untouchable, and Rak didn't put his hand up.
I told you, what is the solution?
He is untouchable.
Come to the court.
Virgil van Dijk is the best centre-back in Premier League history. Mo Salah is the best right winger in Premier League history.
I agree.
I love Trent. And as I said, for the rest of the time that he's at Liverpool Football Club, as long as he, obviously, caveat, as long as he's playing at an elite level, as he has done for pretty much his whole Liverpool career, he should be our right back. The negatives outweigh the positives. The positives outweigh the negatives by far, in my opinion.
Don't say that around a Chelsea fan, okay?
Gangan, you really did Raks there, mate.
Listen, here's the thing. Listen, Raks
Virgil and Mo. I mean,
Raks has been busy on his iPad. Raks has been busy on his iPad trading cryptocurrency. But anyway, here's the thing, Gagandip. Look, the reason why this conversation I feel like is very unfair to Trent is the fact that you're comparing him to 2 of the best, my brother.
Yeah, it's not fair, is it?
Like that's I don't know. Like
it's also not entirely his fault too. Like,
yeah, this question is really
is to blame on the
bad
system.
question, because we would all say yes, get rid of Trent, but that's because you're telling me, am I supposed to keep one of the best right wingers in Premier League history? Am I supposed to keep one of the best centre backs in Premier League history? Yes. So like it's difficult for me to say no to that, to be honest with you. But I would assume most of the guys listen. We want to keep all 3. Yeah. Trent is asked to create because Szoboszlai is trash. No, I hear that argument. And Szoboszlai hasn't really, even though to be fair to him, he's had a couple of good games. To be honest. Hey, he has
He's
had a
played
couple of
better
good games.
His last six games have been perfectly
Become
fine.
Mike edginess now. Yeah, he couldn't. 53 minutes, you had to be edgy. His last 6 games. 6 games, Mike. Name them. Tell me the good games.
I gotta pull up the schedule.
Yeah, pull up the
Yeah.
schedule. The
You-
2
you-
good
you-
games
you-
he had in
you-
a row
you
was
think I just-
Newcastle and Fulham.
You think I just know them off the back of my head? Like I just have the schedule here 24/7 and know exactly who we play. He's been good. Like I don't have any complaints about the way that Szoboszlai has played.
Mike, what
in
is
the month-
expected
in-
of
in the
Szoboszlai
month of
is
September.
Newcastle and Fulham. 100% based on those 2 performances. Why the hell do you think Szoboszlai was rested against Southampton? Because he's starting this Sunday because of the way he played against Newcastle and Fulham. That's why I said he's had 2 great games in a
He
row.
was good against.
Listen,
Newcastle.
I think
But
we
he's also
criticize
good against
Nunez.
Girona. He was also
We
good against
criticize
Girona, and
Nunez.
he was good
Szoboszlai
against
cost
City.
60 million. So he's expected to perform as well.
But he was good
Yeah,
against
sure.
Madrid, City, Newcastle, Girona, and Fulham.
He's been good since the international break, since the last international break, I'd say.
He was good against Girona.
I think he's
Yeah.
been
Damn, the
decent.
standards are on the floor, Habibi. Big up to you, my
Okay,
guy.
you're right. You're right.
No
Focus
one was good
on
against
Girona
Girona,
and just ignore the Real Madrid and Man City.
The other games, I don't think he was great. Great for me was Newcastle and Fulham. Those are the 2 games where I was like, yo, Szoboszlai, well done. Fantastic job. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm saying great, not like good, very good.
I'm not gonna die on this hill, so it's all good.
Fair enough. If Mo Salah shut down, who's creating without? If Mo Salah shut down, Habibi, we're in top 4 race. Brace yourself. You get me?
He's
So
been great in
yeah.
Andrew. So
good luck, mate. Good luck on that one. We have bigger problems if Mo Salah shut down than just Trent's creativity, to be fair. So yeah. Thoughts on getting Hakimi versus keeping Trent? I'd rather keep Trent. I would 100% rather keep Trent because I know what Trent is capable of. However, we're not that club, pal. We're really not that club. We're not the club that's like, oh, Trent, bye-bye. Yalla, Hakimi, come be a Liverpool player. That's not the club. The club is Bradley. We believe in Project Connor Bradley, and he's going to be the starting right back. It's not going to be Hakimi. Man.
To be fair with that comment, hello, Sam. When we lost Nathaniel Klein, it was hello Trent from the youth team who went on the kick on, and now it's a generational right back.
Yes. However,
I mean,
Klein...
Connor Bradley's never really got the chance. Like, I think with Connor Bradley, I think Connor Bradley's a good footballer. I just don't think he's a right back.
I hear you. I hear you. But
Sorry, say that again. What did you say,
there's
Jamie?
a difference between replacing Nathaniel Klein and replacing Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Oh yeah, of course. Sir. Yeah, but you know what? I'm trying to say.
Like,
pretty good, by the way.
big difference there.
Like,
No,
You
sorry,
know,
Jamie, what did you say, bro? I
Fine.
didn't hear what you said about the right back.
I don't think Connor Bradley will be a right back in the future.
What do you think will be?
I think eventually it'll probably be a right-sided winger, something like that. I don't think it'd be a right back his whole career.
Look, the thing
Oh,
about
you think like a
thing
Nico
about
Williams
Bradley-
type situation?
Yeah.
look, the thing about Bradley is like he's still really young, but I just think he's got the mentality to make it. Like, you know, he's the captain of his country now. He's playing. He's one of their star players anyway. I just think you give him a run of games. I just think he can get better. Like, I really do see a lot more in him. And the thing about it is, like, is it easier to change Bradley to fit your system than to get the genie out of the box in Trent, like, and turn him into a defensive right back that slot wants? Like,
He
you know,
doesn't want.
do we want to go through this process, like a learning process of him having players run past him because he's trying to be more offensive, or you know what I mean? When Bradley, you can just tell Bradley exactly.
I
what
hear
to
your
do.
logic, but Connor is just not that guy. Like, he's not the guy that's gonna be like the starting right back for a successful
And
Premier League club.
I just think he's going to be more obedient, isn't he? Because he's going to
Well,
do
didn't-
exactly
we
what
didn't
he's
think
told.
that about
'cause he
Trent.
wants to
Yeah,
be there.
actually, no, he will be more obedient, yes, but only to a certain extent. If he becomes the best right back in the world, then he's also going to develop an ego.
Well, Husam, we didn't think that as Liverpool fans that Trent was going to come in and do what he did. Most would just
Yeah,
say
once
like,
again,
"Oh,
you're
we're happy."
replacing Nathaniel Klein at the
Yeah,
time.
Yeah, no,
was
no, but
winning
no one, and but I get that. But Klein was doing well before he got injured or whatever was going on with him. Trent came in, we didn't expect him to go on to be this, so we can't not say the same for Bradley. Bradley might come in and actually do well.
Okay,
He
but
hasn't
and
had-
here's the thing: you're talking about it like it's an unknown. with Trent, you watch football, you coach in football. Within the first 5 minutes of him being on the pitch, you're like, fucking hell, this is a talent and a half right here. With Bradley, I don't feel the same way.
Husam, I'm not going to lie, I didn't think that with Trent at all. I didn't think that with Trent at all. When he came in, I was thinking, he's just crunching people. He's just crunching people. I remember the Spurs game, he was just crunching people. It wasn't like he'd done anything crazy. It's not the Trent that we went and learned to go and see. I don't think it was that at all. Because I think
his most memorable moment for the first.
It was just a stopgap at that point.
Yeah, his most memorable moment when he first came in was getting rinsed by Rashford, right?
Yeah, he got rinsed by Rashford. That's all I remember as well.
That's the outstanding moment in his first probably 10 or 15 games.
Yeah,
the Rashford test.
But I just look at Bradley, and if you look at Connor Bradley when he gets into forward positions and he's in the opposition's box, whether it's this season or last season, I see an unbelievable amount of creative potential in his ability in that position. And defensively, he's made mistakes, but so has every other 21-year-old fullback. And if he gets rinsed against Hudson-Odoi against Nottingham Forest, it is what it is because he's 21 years old. If he gets rinsed against Southampton for ball watching and not covering the central space, again, he's young, right? But I wouldn't have those same expectations on someone who was 25 and had been there.
I hear you. Definitely, the age definitely plays a part in this, 100%. So at least 3 players have said that if we had slot methods last few years, we'd won more. But when I say this, I'm disrespectful, apparently. No, you're not disrespectful when you say this. You're disrespectful when you act like Jurgen Klopp was just shouting at the players pre-game and it's like, wow, go out there and be emotional.
Sorry,
he's
actually What 3 players did this?
No one knows.
I wouldn't dig into it, Endz.
He's talking about one of those.
I'm asking because I'm like, what 3 players in their right mind says, yo, if we would have had slot, we would have won.
Apparently, there was an article reporting on this.
Yeah,
3 players have secretly been having a conversation on blah blah blah. But listen, those 3 players could be like Nunez, Robertson, and Adrian. I don't know. Panel, who do you prefer, Davies or Kirk as his right back? Alphonso Davies for me.
Every day of the week.
Davies all day long.
Yeah, but he's going to Madrid. So what is that?
Kirk has it.
I don't think so, mate. I don't think so.
Davies is absolutely elite, but unfortunately,
I think Davies is very, very likely to happen.
He is.
Am I the only one who thinks that Alphonso Davies is not that good?
He's
really
also a bag
good.
of glass. He gets
injured.
He's
really good.
I'd rather have Anthony Robinson, but that's just me.
He's crap as well.
American bias.
I don't know about that guy.
Yeah,
I'm just saying Alphonso Davies' injury record just speaks for itself. But that's it.
I think you think Trent's bad at defending. Wait till Alphonso Davies turns up. He's just a kick and rush.
I don't think Davies is a bad.
No. Seriously, you guys actually watch this guy play, or would you say?
I don't think people.
No, I don't think Davies is a bad defender at all. I think he's
I don't think he's a bad player. I just think that he's
got like a 60%. He's got like a 60% tackle ratio win. Over.
Yeah, he's not a bad defender. He's very good.
I mean it.
In my school football team, I had a 200% tackle rate, and I played up front. I mean, tackle ratio.
It's untrue that he can't defend.
The quality player. He's a quality player.
He's a kick and rush left back. He's not even a left back. Man wants to be a left winger.
Hold on. If Alphonso Davies is a kick and rush left back, then what's Robbo been for the past 6 years?
He's a Scottish hammer. Okay, he's a Scottish hammer. That's what he's there for.
Robbo's a far better defender than Alphonso.
Didn't we have a kick in rush midfielder as well called Jordan Henderson?
Robertson is just a kick. There's no even rush to him anymore. If we win the league this season, you'll have people like Husam and Corby Red. Shout out to Corby Red. Big up to him. Giving more credit to Klopp. People need to accept that Klopp was a bum in the last 2 years. Randy Orton's theme song was made for you because you keep hearing voices in it. First of all, who unbanned this guy? because we banned them last week. Second of all,
Somebody
who
gave you
told,
that. Somebody
who
gave you
told
like
you that
100
I am
pounds
going to
to
give
do that.
Klopp more credit than Slot if we win the league title? That is by far the stupidest super chat you have sent in your entire
I think
existence.
I'll be Red will because he fucking sucks Klopp off every night. So,
Bro,
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm not gonna give Klopp more credit than Slot if we win a league title. Like what? Of course not. Slot's the current manager. He deserves all the praise in the world, bro. This
Yeah,
guy,
definitely.
you just fight your own demons. Like you just look at the roof and you're like, let me try to like get Husam to say some wild shit. I'm not gonna demonetize the stream based on you. Who unbanned this guy? Didn't we batter Real without Trent? Our system enables us to create many chances. Maybe give Slot credit for that instead of Trent, who's been media this season on the ball. Trent has been media on the ball this season. Here, you can have this. I think you need it, my brother. Man said Trent has been he hasn't been media on the ball all season. This is bullshit to begin with. Second of all, giving Slot credit for Bradley's performance is insane. Like we can't do that. Third of all, when it comes to Real Madrid, you're using the benchmark as the anomaly game. Bradley's best performance of the whole season came against Real Madrid. He did not play at that level in any other game the whole season. And you know, Endz asked the infamous "who cost us" last week question that caused the whole riot, and he's the only one that cost us this season using his logic. So let's not go there. Husam versus Ryan cage fight. I swear to God, I will happily do this fight for free. I don't want anyone to give me a single cent. I will give all the money to charity, and I want to have fun with that guy in a ring. I genuinely just want to I would Khabib that guy so badly, bro. I've had so much built up negative energy against Ryan. Wallahi, I would do this for free. Wallahi, I'd do this for free. Big up to you, Jack. Thank you for the super chat. Anyway, 633 people locked in. Big up to all of you guys. Like and subscribe, as we said. Big up all the super chatters. Big up everyone who's supporting the stream. Big up all the incredible people in this community. Big up the toxic community that is the Don Husam channel. Anyway, let's talk about Tottenham this Sunday. And I want to start off with Endz because he's been on this whole like VIP celebrity, type of thing. Like, oh, only if they ask me, I'm gonna speak. Go ahead, Endz. Talk to me about Spurs this
No,
Sunday.
just listening, bro. Last week it was me and you speaking a lot, so I thought this week let me sit back and listen to the guys speak, man. I don't know, bro. With the Spurs game, just watching the way they play, they've got players that can hurt us. Mainly Kulu. I think he's the only one I'm really worried about. I think Solanke's not too bad as well. I don't think Son is the same player that he used to be. I've been watching his performance over the last couple of weeks. He's still a good player, but not doing what we expect. Maybe the age is getting there. Maybe less requirement in the system for him to do certain things. Maybe other players are picking up the baton like Maddison, Kulu, and Solanke. And that high line, bro, we're gonna kill them. They have to sit. They have to sit back. They can't play us. I saw in that Man United game, they had their midfielders and defenders compact together in the other half, not in their own half, in the other half. So if the ball goes in behind, everyone is onside. It doesn't make sense to me. But footballing wise, they do play some good football. But with the speed we have in our team, 100% we're going to kill this team, man. They're going to have to change it up. But the last time they changed it up was against Chelsea. And even then, defensively, they looked all over the place. Chelsea could have scored 5, 6, 7 goals. They were just taking a piss at some points in the game. And then they got? Archie Gray at the back at the moment. He's a midfielder that they're using as a centre back.
Did you see him yesterday?
But he's young. He's young.
He's young, of course. He's young, of course. But
yeah, look. As long as Liverpool do what we need to do, man, and play with a high tempo, I don't see how they live with us. As long as they don't try and bump us like they did last year, man. You know what I mean? Didn't want to draw lines and wanted to send our player off and not even touching the other player. But yeah, now I'm looking forward to the game. I think it will be an interesting game. But we have to be better defensively because it could be one of them games where Tottenham ain't good in the game, but they'll just score on the counter-attack because we're just letting some stupid through balls in. So, yeah, we have to be sharp defensively, and I feel like I think we can just score at will in this one. But it's down to us. It's really down to us.
Who's your... just quickly, Jamie, I want to ask Endz a question. Endz, tell me your starting 11 this Sunday.
I think it's the easiest one for this one. Alisson in goal, Trent right back, Gomez, Virgil centre back, think Robbo will come back in because he was suspended anyway. I would start Tsimikas, but I feel like Tsimikas coming in for 45 minutes. Robbo had the week off, basically. I think they'll go back with him.
No. I'm not asking what you think Slot.
No, that's what I know. That's what I know. I think from a you want your fittest players on the pitch.
Is Tsimikas in training?
100%. So
Has Tsimikas trained?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's played as well. He played in the Southampton game.
Played against Southampton.
Played in the second half. Gravenberch, McAllister in your double pivot, Subbo in the 10, Salah right, Diaz left, and Jota up front. I would go with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know our left back situation at the moment? It's basically you've got two shits and what one looks better. That is basically Liverpool's left back situation right now. Tsimikas is crap as well. I don't think Robbo would be anywhere near this team if Tsimikas was at a level. And the fact that Robbo still gets in the team shows me that Tsimikas ain't at this level. I personally feel Tsimikas might even leave in January if we're going to get a left back in. If Liverpool are looking for Kirkes in January, then Tsimikas is leaving because we're not going to have 3 left backs on the books. So I think Tsimikas might leave in January as a possibility. I think he leaves.
Can I ask a question just based on, because obviously I'm not in this space. Yeah. When did people start thinking Kostas is rubbish? Because earlier,
I don't think that at all.
Oh my God, Kostas has got to start over Robbo.
I've always thought
he was on the ball. Look at his delivery from set pieces. That's what I heard.
I've always thought.
Like I said, I don't know.
I don't know what anyone else has said, but Kmack, because I do loads of Kmack. I've always said I don't rate him.
Yeah, you've always said.
I've never rated him.
Is there a particular reason?
I haven't rated the other one either, though.
Yeah,
is there a particular reason, Jay?
Yeah, it's not that good. It's not that good. It's just that he's not that good. Defensively, he's crap. Going forward, he's okay. I just don't think he's at that level. We always talk about being Liverpool, and we need better.
We could do better on the left.
Surely we can do better than Tsimikas on the left. So for me, one of them's got to leave. I think Robbo actually lasts longer at Liverpool than Tsimikas does. I'm not saying that's my choice, but I think Liverpool look at him and think there's more value for Tsimikas to be sold than there is Robbo, and keep Robbo at the club, and Robbo will leave at the end of his contract. Tsimikas will leave Liverpool. Because Liverpool go buy a left back by the sounds of it, either in January or the summer. So one of them's going to go, and I just feel it's going to be Tsimikas. So for me, and if you look at Slot, I don't think he can really. He rotates both of them. No one's really landed that position, so he can't make his mind up either. With Trent's his right back. He can't make up his mind who his left back is at the moment. Also, with his left wing, he can't make his mind up there. It's either Gakpo or Diaz. So there is issues on the left-hand side of our pitch that need changing. For me,
I think that's just more to having. More players in that position. You have to rotate to kind of keep the players happy. And I think by him doing that, it keeps them fresh, keeps them hungry. Yes, obviously you'd want someone to nail down that particular position, but when you have 2 players that have got a bit of quality about them, then it's going to be so hard to just go, I'm going to drop you out and you can only play. It's not like a goalkeeper. It's not like Alisson coming back in. These guys have to play. Gakpo has to play and Diaz has to play. We've got so many players, you have to rotate. And if we don't rotate and we just stick to an 11, then we're going to look at probably getting more injuries, and then people are going to complain, why are we not rotating? So that's why we rotate. And he alluded to that in terms on the right-hand side. Because, when he said, they asked him about Salah playing so much minutes, but he said, obviously, if Chiesa was fit, then he would probably play less minutes as well, because then he could rotate.
Can I just say one thing? I might be the only one on the world who thinks this, but that Chiesa performance against Southampton moved me. I'll be so honest.
I thought Chiesa was good.
He was great.
I am so because literally almost 2 goals he scored if it wasn't for unbelievable blocks. And the one moment where the ball was falling down from the sky, and he just controlled it one touch and nutmeg the guy. I'm like,
he's quality.
I fully went after that stream and had a plate of spaghetti after respect. It was just such an unbelievable moment. But I have to say one thing, Mike, before I forget.
Sure.
Everyone Everyone need to respect
Can
Costas.
I just say, I am shocked how many people in the chat are for Kostas Tsimikas.
Yes, and you're about to be even more
Jerry,
shocked.
Jerry, you've
So hear me out.
captivated the fan base.
Is it just because Robbo? Is it just
No.
Robbo's
I'll
in
actually-
bad form?
I'll tell you. I have
Because-
been, and Mike will probably
Mad.
know this the most out of everyone. Just like Kmack vouch for you, Mike will vouch for me. I am probably the biggest Kostas Tsimikas fan in this planet. I think me, like, I'm just competing with his family as much as how much I rate the guy. If Andy Robertson took the corner in the Carabao Cup final, we would have went to penalties. Tsimikas Nation, already know in the chat, they're rising up. Kostas Tsimikas, for me, people have always done this whole like, yes, but is Kostas Tsimikas levels? Yeah, but Robertson ain't levels. Robertson is not just levels. Robertson is finito, habibi. He's done. He's khalas. It is over. It is all over. It is completely
Robbo's
finished.
better.
With Tsimikas is technical. He can play with both feet. He's a much better passer than Andy Robertson. Much better. Much
like
better
2 years
crosser of
ago.
the football in 2024. And as a matter of fact, I don't even remember the last time Tsimikas got cooked in a game from a defensive perspective, because he's been a lot better from that perspective as well. For me, yes, we can sit up here and say we all want a left back. Everyone on the stream wants a left back. Everyone in the chat wants a left back. But if you tell me we sign no left back until May and you have a Champions League final tomorrow, I'm going Kostas Tsimikas. I'm going Kostas Tsimikas in any high pressure moment. Only time I'm playing Robertson is against Accrington Stanley in the FA Cup.
Well,
That's the one time.
This is why I was asking. This is why I was just asking. When did the story change? Because I was hearing this.
Story hasn't
I was asking people. Tsimikas having a great season. That was the narrative.
Facts.
Yeah, but the only issue with him, the only issue,
not saying
Jerry,
he's Jamie, by the way, but now he's shit. Apparently, do you know what I mean?
the only issue though is when Robbo has shockers, he's always injured. You
Yeah.
can't even bring him in.
So to be
but-
fair, last season when Tsimikas came in, he when
He was
Robbo
good.
hurt his shoulder, Tsimikas
He was
was
good.
really good. And what you said, Husam, bro, I echoed the same thing, bro. When I said it, there's like, nah, keep Robbo in. I was like, nah, but Tsimikas is technically better than him. You need to
Yeah.
play him. He could do the inverted thing a lot better because he's better on the ball. It's like, nah, what you want to get Robbo out? I'm like, all right, forget it then. Now you're saying it. It's interesting because that's exactly what I was saying before, bro. But
Listen,
nah,
I
Tsimikas is
think
good,
For
I
me,
man.
it's oh my bad.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. Sorry,
I
my
was
bad. Go
just gonna say, for me, I think it has to be Kostas. Like, I don't even think it's a debate or a question, and
Yeah.
particularly this Sunday, right?
Yeah,
because
right.
right now, when I'm
Kulusevski, no
when
way.
I'm
There's Robbo.
no offense to you, Jamie, but just in my mind, I see Kostas as the option, because particularly this Sunday, right? When you look at that Tottenham team, they were by far worse than Manchester United. Okay, like ultimately, the goal that won them the game was a foul, and if there was VAR, it would have been 3-3, and it would have been going to pens. And ultimately, furthermore, the first goal that they scored, extremely fortunate deflection, and if Onana is in there, he's parrying that wide. But outside of that, if you look at that game, the amount of times that Dalot and Bruno Fernandes had a one-on-one down the left-hand side, and the back, like they have bricks for feet, right? Because they have no pace, they're not able to beat the man. They're not able to create an opportunity. And because Rasmus Højlund is allergic to far post runs, they weren't scoring, right? But if you put Luis Diaz, if you put Luis Diaz in that situation and Diogo Jota in the center, we will burn them alive. The only thing that worries me, Son is out of form, but Kulusevski is dangerous, and Robertson has been a liability against good right wings the whole season. What I don't want to see is Andy Robertson in that position and giving away a stupid foul, giving away a stupid penalty, getting booked too early, being a defensive liability against one of the most informed right wingers in the league, someone
To
who
be
can
fair,
punish
Kulu's
us.
playing in the centre, so he'll be up against Brennan Johnson more so than anything.
Yeah,
He's been really good as well, though. Brendan Johnson's on form.
Personally, though, I feel like Kulu always drifts to that right. Whether or not he's starting in the center, I just feel like naturally, when I look at him on the pitch, he's in when he's at his best, he's coming down the right side of the pitch. Obviously, this is Virgil's side as well. But it's like people look at Tsimikas and they say defensive liability. I'm like, the dude has had like one bad defensive performance this entire season. He hasn't been nearly as bad as Andrew Robertson in the moments that Andrew Robertson has been atrocious. I don't even think it's comparable. And ultimately, what he provides going forward, whether it be on set pieces or simple balls into the box, he doesn't hit the first man, which means that there's an opportunity to score. If you hit the first man, There's no chance to score. It's just like a striker. If you don't hit the target, you can't score a goal. If you hit the first man, you can't get an assist. And like, I don't think that it's comparable, in my opinion.
I'll be an equal prick. Yeah, I don't like both of them.
Which is fine.
Yeah, we could do better, 100%.
100%.
We could do so much better.
I don't like both of them. I don't think both of them are good enough. People are talking about Tsimikas like it's Paleo Malfucking-Dini.
No, he's not.
It's mad to me. People in the chat talking about Tsimikas like he's the next coming.
When you say we can do better, what do you mean? What kind of traits do you need our left back to show?
A good one.
Defensive.
So give me Kirk.
They are better defensive though.
Kirkes is better than both of them.
He's definitely not. But
Tsimikas, right? This is the thing with Tsimikas, yeah. Tsimikas, because everyone tells me no one goes past him and he doesn't make. Tsimikas makes defensive mistakes further up the pitch. That's where Tsimikas makes defensive
that's why I'd
mistakes.
rather make mistakes though, Jay, instead of
but then they're punished because he's never in his left back position. Tsimikas makes loads of defensive mistakes constantly. This love for Tsimikas, I just don't understand. It might just be me. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. For me, him and Robbo are both not good enough anymore to be at Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
If you want to move on and get a better left back and carry on with the future. So
no, by the way, I don't think anyone disagrees with everyone. Just show of hands. Is everyone here getting a left back if given the opportunity? Are you buying a left back?
We need a new one.
Cool.
Yes, everyone here agrees. But as things stand, let's assume for the sake of argument that we won't sign a left back in January. Who are you starting? And in the chat as well, give me a one-word answer. Right now.
I'm starting Robbo.
I'm starting Simi.
Gomez.
Tsimikas.
Robbo's the obvious choice.
Gomez is our best left back right now.
So you're telling me you're comfortable with playing Kwanzaa in center back until Konate's fit and Joe Gomez at left back?
No, I'm saying if we're not signing a left back, then we play Joe Gomez because Konate would be back.
Yeah, but he's not going to be back.
So then you'd have Kwanzaa, or you buy a centre back. Like if you're not buying,
the
left back, then I have no idea what you're doing. Because Robbo's been awful and he's on the decline, and he has been for a while. Let's be honest. We look really poor down the left-hand side in possession, like we have. Like, you know, Virgil van Dijk just
we lose the ball more on the right-hand side than we do on the left.
Virgil van Dijk just isn't that guy. He's not going to do what Konate does and put out
fires. Don't skip past that though. But we lose the ball more on the right than we do on the left.
No, I haven't said we're great on the right either. Like,
but you're saying we lose the ball more on the left when we don't. We lose it more on the right.
Or Achilles' heels left and right back. Like it just has been. It has been for a long time. Like we could do with a better left back.
Up to Southampton and Newcastle. That's what we thought, that the left and right back was an issue. With all them clean sheets, with all not conceding any goals. That was the thought.
We conceded because we gave away a penalty. Yeah. That was Robbo. Yeah.
It was a set piece and a long ball.
We ended up with 10 men.
They didn't have
because of Robbo. Like, look, there hasn't been a huge amount of games where we have been poor. There just hasn't. We've been in games all the time. And we've had chances in games all the time. There's never really been a game where we've been like out of the other teams, like being out of sight. Like they've been all close games, or we've been in control. But the left-hand side is an issue. Like it is an issue.
If we just rewind the tape on this stream a little bit, back when we got a super chat earlier, and someone said without Salah, who was the creator, and then Husam decided to go on the tangent of, you know, Trent is the only creator alongside Salah, right? Kostas Tsimikas can be a creator on the left-hand side far better than Andrew Robertson can. So if we're going to say that we have a lack of creators in this team, then what I'm going to tell you is that you need to put as many creators as you possibly can on the pitch who are physically able to play, which means that Kostas Tsimikas has to play, which means that Trent has to play, which means that Salah has to play, which means that Elliot has to get as many minutes as he possibly can, as well as Alexis McAllister. So defensively, yes, Kostas Tsimikas, his mistakes happen further up the pitch, but that's like a midfielder mistake. I'd rather have the midfielder make a mistake than the left back in the left back position, because that leaves an opportunity for other players to get back, which we have been excellent at this season. When we concede possession in midfield, everyone gets back. It's only in the last 2 weeks have I seen teams consistently have outnumbered counterattacks against us. And I think some of that has to do with the fact that Konate is not in there. But if Kostas is another creative outlet, he has to be in the team. Because if we all agree that there is a creative deficiency in this side, then you need to put those players on the pitch. And I don't think anyone here can vouch for Robbo's creativity this season, last season, or the season before, because it hasn't been there for a long time.
I don't know. Robbo's more creative than Tsimikas.
Tsimikas has got a better cross. Like
Tsimikas is creative from a set piece, from open play.
Job.
From open play, Robbo's more creative than Tsimikas.
How many times have we seen Robbo in the box and not do anything? Like
how many times does Andrew Robertson hit the first man with any cross he does on any?
Yeah, his corners are shit. I've always said that. Even when he was at his best, his corners
open
are
play,
shit.
open play. It's the same story.
No,
he doesn't get the ball into the box.
No, open play. No. You like this is so we're forgetting everything of Robbo's Liverpool career.
No, I'm talking about this season and last season. The last 2 years.
Look, another issue with Kostas as well, by the way. And look, I'm not hating on Kostas, by the way. Like, but he's never been given a run in the team because he's never been fit. Like, and Robbo was always first choice. Look, Slot came in. Everyone thought Kostas was just going to play because he had a good pre-season. Well, obviously, Slot doesn't rate him that highly because he played Robbo straight away. And then whenever Robbo's ass and he has to come out, Kostas seems to be injured, and then we end up having to go back to Gomez. Like, if we had another centre back,
if you're talking from an injury perspective, I can't even disagree. But I will say this though:
you can't rely
when
on
Robertson
him.
had a run of
Rely on
2
him
bad
as your
games,
first
Tsimikas did start the game after. This is the thing.
You want to rely on him as your first choice player, and he's not available. Like, he gets injured for Greece. He gets injured in the Liverpool team. Like
this one specific chat. This guy says, "Lol, Robbo has 59 assists for Liverpool." Again, that's the problem, right? You're putting a player on a pedestal for their history. No one is saying that Andrew Robertson, the highest potential of Andrew Robertson offensively is far beyond the highest potential of Kostas Tsimikas. The problem is that Andrew Robertson does not exist anymore. He is no longer here. If he comes out of the shadows like Batman, I will hold it. I will sit here and I will say, Andrew Robertson, I am sorry. I was wrong. You are a superhero. You are Bruce Wayne personified. But unfortunately, he hasn't done that for 2 years. Okay, 24 months. I have failed to see Andrew Robertson give me even a morsel of consistency in terms of creative output. Kostas Tsimikas has done that for me far more than Andrew Robertson has. And defensive liability wise, like, sure, maybe Robertson throughout the full 90 is a little bit more consistent than Kostas Tsimikas, but the Bozo moment is drastically different because Robertson will do it in the box and Tsimikas will do it on the halfway line. I'd much rather it be further up the pitch.
I love this mid-off we just had, but you know, it's not truly a mid-off because Tsimikas is levels above. But when it comes to Spurs, is anyone worried about this Sunday?
Yeah.
Who's worried?
I think we know what we're going to get from Spurs. So the game's going to go like this. Spurs are going to come out the traps in the first 15 minutes and they're going to be all over us. As long as we don't concede, they will then start giving up chances to the opposition because it's what they always do. If their defence is not as strong as, if Archie Gray's playing centre back and they haven't got their number one, Porro's out, they ain't got their fullbacks in order, and they play in the halfway line. Look, if I'm Slot, I'm basically telling Jota, Diaz, and Salah just to stay on the halfway line. Just stay in the halfway line. We'll stay nice and compact at the back, defend well, stay nice and tight, and as soon as we get the ball, long balls over the top. Long balls over the top absolutely destroy Spurs time and time again. And when you got our forwards that we got, they will feed. There's no doubt about it. But you just got to hold tight for the first 15 minutes against Tottenham. That's what you got to do. Look at every game Tottenham plays this season. First 15 minutes are usually 2-0.
Yeah.
So you just got to hold tight. Hold tight. Don't concede. And then, like Endz was saying earlier, their defensive midfield all playing the same position. It's crazy. You just got to bide your time, and long balls over the top against Spurs will absolutely kill him. Because Aaron ain't going to change the way he plays. He's just going to play the way he does. And, you saw it in the game on yesterday, 4-3. It's madness. They remind me of a Brendan Rodgers Liverpool team. That's what they remind me of.
I think we're going to win the game by 3 or more goals. I'm very
Well, hold
confident
on,
about
hold
this.
on.
Three
Husam,
No.
more.
Have you seen their defending, Habibi? Are you watching what we're watching?
Husam.
4-0 would be a mad one. If it was
You know
4-0.
the thing is though, we
I
praise
remember
our players. And say,
Brendan Rodgers era. We did win
Raks,
5-0
can you
there.
respect
No.
Dominic Solanke, mate? It's going to be 4-1.
no, but Raks though, we praise our players, right? We got one of the best attacking lines in terms of the players we got. We got Jota back now. So why are we moving nervous, bro? And watching how Spurs actually.
Yeah, I ain't
defend?
nervous with Jota. Have some shame.
No,
I'm
no,
never
no.
going to be.
I
With
think
Diogo
there's
Jota
a-
in the team, I'm supposed to be
there's a-
nervous. Never.
The reason
If it
why
was
I'm
the other
nervous,
guy, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm nervous." But
There's a very
not-
clear
not Jota.
caveat here, though. There's a very clear
he's going to
caveat.
say what
mate.
I'm going to say. Go on.
And I think that if you watch Spurs this season, it's not their scoring, right? Okay, so if Spurs score first, I think that would give us the most trouble. If we score first, Spurs look every time they concede a goal. I want you to look at every player on that team. It is dejection. Okay, just look at the United game. The first goal, they're still up 3-1. Pure dejection. Everyone head down, mentality completely gone, sloppy play for the rest of the 90 minutes, right? And it was a fluke corner that ended up being, the ultimate decider. Not to mention, did you see Amad Diallo's shot, the goalkeeper? It's right at him. What does he do? He just flicks his ankle. I don't feel like diving. Doink. I'm just going to throw my foot at it. Ultimately, if you score first against this Spurs team, I don't care how in form they are. They have a poor mentality. And so to me, the most important thing in this game, it's not even the first 15 minutes. It's not even the full 90. Score first, destroy their mentality, and then put the foot on the throat. This game will be over. If they score first, I'm going to start to have a little bit of a, internal crisis, because I think that they're capable of doing it. I think that they're dangerous. And ultimately it comes down to, can we get the right 1-2 in terms of breaking their line? And can somebody whose name is not Mohamed Salah be clinical and get the job done? So to me, it's just about scoring first.
The worry for me is they're just a Jekyll and Hyde side. Like they really are. Like you just don't know what you're going to get with them. And I think that is going to be really difficult to work out. Like if they go defensive, they might have a chance, like against us, because we might just try and go for them. But if they go all gung ho, like they have been, then we'll probably just pick them off. You just don't know what you're going to get. Like we all think that Ange is going to play the way he plays, but he has changed the way he's played before to get results, and he might do this, and he might catch us out. Like
He changed
it's a really odd one.
once the season came back and he got conceded 4 against Chelsea.
It's a really odd one. Like I just want Slot to pick solid players. Like don't pick any players that you might get a bit of a 6 out of 10 out of, or you might get some that might just go into it thinking they're gonna win easily. Like I need him to pick the best team for this game, and don't throw your Nunez's and your Diaz's in and your Robbo's in. Like I don't need any guys that
Gakpo over Luis Diaz on that left-hand side. You would take Gakpo over Diaz.
Yeah, 100% Gakpo. 100%.
Who's right back for Spurs? Is Archie Gray playing centre back at the moment?
No,
Yeah, Archie Gray is the centre back.
Pedro-
Right back is
Alan-
Pedro Porro.
Alan and Gakpo have got a real relationship.
I
going there.
lean,
Alan's
I
got, like,
lean
9
more
assists for
towards
him.
liking Gakpo. However, just because it's Pedro Porro playing right back, I'd go with Diaz. Just because of that reason. Because Pedro Porro can't defend for shit. He can't defend to save his life. No. Listen.
It's all about pace here.
Yeah, you know,
in the last
Okay, let me put it to you this way.
7 games.
Trent versus Napoli, 38 games a season. That's Pedro Porro right there. So, just because of that right there, I'm going Diaz. Thank God we have Jota, so we have nothing to worry about in terms of clinicalness. We got Mo in there, so I'm very confident about this game. Look, it's sad what the conversation has become about our forward line, but I think even me and Mike agreed last halftime show we spoke about this. It's getting to the stage where I'm actually fully prioritizing signing a striker now. If I were capable of, like, you can sign one position, I'm signing a striker. End of. Because one's unreliable and the other's unreliable in a different way. So that's what I'll say. So for me, like, What Mike said is just we can sit up here and we can say Mo's elite and he's unbelievable, and if we win, he could win Ballon d'Or and blah, blah. We all agree on this, yes. But 75% of your goal involvements, what the fuck is happening? Like, what? Where is everyone else? Like, this is the question that we must ask. And I feel like sometimes, and look, we might be all guilty of it, including myself. I feel like sometimes you get way too involved in this, like Diaz versus Gakpo, Jota versus Nunez, Chiesa, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'll be honest with you, I would happily sell the other 5, all 5 of them, and get 5 new upgrades, happily. Because I feel like all of them are just not levels. Like, you know, I wouldn't mind letting go of Diaz and getting a Lookman. I wouldn't mind letting go of Gakpo and getting a Kvaratskhelia. I wouldn't mind letting go of Chiesa and maybe getting a more reliable, better right winger. I wouldn't mind letting go of a Jota and signing a more reliable striker. I wouldn't mind letting go of Nunez and buying 3 chopsticks. I'm willing to upgrade. I'm willing to upgrade on every single one of them. So that's why for me, I'm not going to get involved in this, like, this guy versus that guy. Gakpo and Diaz maybe a bit less than the other 3 because Chiesa we haven't even seen yet. So I'm going to give him a bit of time. But Jota is just so unreliable. Jota's here now. Is Jota? Can anyone here guarantee Jota's going to be there in March when I need him? No. The other guy, I've given up completely. So I need someone who could just. I'm not. You know what it is? I don't even need like the other guy that we're gonna bring in to get 50 goals a season. I just need someone to get like 20 goals, bro. 25 goals. That's all I'm asking for.
Hasn't Cody Gakpo got 7 goals in 10 games at the moment?
7 and 9.
Yeah, which is kind of a mad stat because I can't remember Cody ever scoring. But he has got 7 in like 9 or 10 games. Which is
I'm talking about league numbers only, by the way.
Yeah. Look, you are right.
Games he's played back to back. So
yeah, you are right with Mo being our main guy, and we need more from other players in the team. Look, I've always had my problems with Diaz since we bought him. It continues, but for me, Cody Gakpo, I think when you look at Gakpo and Diaz, Gakpo is going to get you more goals than Luis Diaz. He just is, because that's the kind of player he is. He's more effective in that area of the pitch. That's not really Diaz's game, to be fair. Goals. He's more of a creative winger. That's what he was at Porto. We've not seen that side of him because we don't play with a main striker up front. So it's more difficult for him. So he has to be like an inside winger, inside forward. I just feel like we have to sort of wrap Jota up in bubble wrap, I suppose, and hopefully he stays fit, because obviously if Jota stays fit, I think he's probably scoring 15 goals till the end of the season.
If Jota stays fit, we win the league.
Yeah, I mean, so you got to keep him fit. He's obviously.
But you want to know the problem, Jamie? How many times have we said if Jota stays fit? Like,
and this is the problem, and this is why we do need a new forward. There is no doubt about it. I do think the left-hand side of our problem. Yeah, Jamie, he scored 20 goals for Porto in one season, Prince. Look at all his seasons before that. He scored fuck all. It was one season he scored 14 goals. We bought him. Yeah. That was his highest goal scoring return.
Yeah, just like the other guy, we bought him off of one season.
Yeah, I think we got a problem on our left-hand side because I like Gakpo. I don't think Gakpo is good enough. At the end of the day, I don't think Diaz is good enough. They both need to go. We need a new left winger. And the forward line, the number 9 area, we do need some freshening up there because Darwin's not good enough and Jota's too unreliable. So there is issues in our forward line.
Can I ask you guys a question? And when we compared them, are we comparing them to getting Mo's numbers, or are we just comparing them in terms of what we would want them to do? So are we comparing them to Mo and what Mo's getting, so we want them to get the similar to Mo, or just saying what we think they should be getting?
I don't know. I'd want to strike
for who
specifically.
So the other players, the striker part, I agree. I think we need another one anyway.
Yeah, Gakpo and Diaz, I'm not expecting them to get
the ball on the left-hand side. Because
I'll give you realistic numbers. 15 goals. 15 Prem goals.
I think the Gakpo thing's a bit harsh. Like,
it's hard here because not many wingers in the Premier League get 15 goals anyway.
Yeah, but if a Martinelli could get you 15 goals in a season,
he was only one.
I understand he did it only one time, but that's my point. Like, I'm not using Martinelli as the measuring stick. I'm simply saying 15 goals from one of them. I'm okay with that.
Well, I don't even. I think that's still going like a little bit too far. I think that ideally, the left winger, you should expect 20 goal involvements through all competitions, right? Like I want you to be a part of scoring goals everywhere the whole season. I don't need 15 goals in the Prem, right? If you score me 6 goals in the Prem and those are 6 winners, happy. Don't care. I don't care how many. To me, it's about time and place, the moments
Yes.
when you're scoring.
This
And
is raw numbers. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Raw numbers. I'm not
I
as
want them
concerned about
everywhere
raw
too.
numbers. I'm talking about. I'm more concerned about impactful goals.
One
just
thing,
think
one
that,
thing I
like-
would say about the left wingers, though, yeah, I mean, my opinion is, like, people know, like, I go on G's channel, I go on Endz's channel. I don't really like Gakpo. I think he's
Big up to G as well because it's
Man,
his son's birthday today. So happy birthday to
yeah,
G's
big
son.
up, big up,
Big up G. Big up G, man. Ian's little bro.
But yeah, for me, I've said it before. I feel like he's like a B-Tech Rashford when Rashford's on form. Innit? I think they're so similar. I think I don't really like it. Not my cup of tea. It is what it is. But one thing I would say,
Who, Jerry? Which one is the Beta Rashford?
Gakpo. Gakpo, they play exactly the same. They
goes
play-
games. Yeah.
they play exactly the same. But the profile, they're so similar. But like, I'm not a fan of him. But one thing I would say though is neither Diaz or Gakpo are getting a fair crack at the whip. With Gravenberch as an example, he's able to play in repeated games, week in, week out, build on his confidence, build on it. And then you're obviously going and seeing the performances that we have done. Even Kelleher, consistent performances over a long period of time with him, he's able to go and perform. The chopping and changing that we're doing with both of them, because when you look at the numbers of them collectively, they're okay. Like their main issue, the goals that are coming from the actual centre forward, it's not coming from the left wing. I think if you look at percentage, I think the left wing makes up like 26% or something like that, and the forwards like the number 9 makes up like 3% of like goals and assists in the team.
Yeah.
So the left wing's doing okay. The problem is we're trying to find out who's our starting left winger, like Husam was saying, and I think both of them would benefit from just playing week in, week out. So at least we know. So at least, do you know what I mean? If he plays 15 games on the bounce and he gets 1 goal and 1 assist, and that's Diaz, and I like Diaz, then you know, right, listen, he's poor. You got to take that. He's not the guy. But none of them are getting a fair crack where it seemed to me like Luis Diaz was on form. We had the international break. He came back and then didn't start. And whether it's because he struggled or whatever, but cool, he doesn't start. And then he's coming in off the bench. And then before that, with Slot, it was like Gakpo was doing really, really good. And I'm like, yeah, Gakpo's probably going to start the next game because he scored against Madrid. And you don't start the next game. And I'm just kind of like, maybe Slot doesn't like both of them. Maybe he's still trying to figure out. But I think they'd benefit from just having consistent game time. I think both of them. At least then we just know, all right, cool, he's not good enough for sure. Because right now, everyone's like, and R and Diaz, yeah, we'd replace him. But, you know, you pulled out Ademola Lookman. Do you know what I mean? Like 2 years ago, Ademola, no one wanted Ademola Lookman. Do you know what I mean?
For me,
that's 2 years ago, though.
Yeah,
for me,
last season, no
he's become a monster out of nowhere. Like so,
I'd be willing
to give him a chance.
But that's my point, out of nowhere. And what he's benefited from is consistent game time, where he's been at Atalanta for 3 seasons now, and
it's
he plays
not just about
week in, week out.
I
don't think it's just
two sets.
Yeah.
Look,
Go ahead.
Look, the thing for me is we signed Diaz off the back of 1 season, and the numbers were great. Okay, we signed Gakpo off the back of 3 solid seasons of great form, goals, assists. There's a reason why Real Madrid wanted Gakpo. Real Madrid were looking at Gakpo when we were. Manchester United were looking at Gakpo. The numbers were there. The data's there.
But at Kmack,
hang on, mate. Two secs. We brought him in, and Jurgen Klopp never played him right. And he even admitted it. Look, I didn't play him well. Played him all over the park, but didn't play him in his natural position. For me, we need a guy that can score the assists that Mo Salah puts on the plate for them. And we just haven't had that guy. We haven't had him.
Yeah, this is
Nunez can't do it. Diaz can't do it. How many chances have you seen Diaz miss from Salah's crosses into the box? Like brilliant balls in, and he's put them wide, or the goalie saved him. Like Gakpo is scoring goals that Salah provides. Like I think it's 17 assists that Mane got off him. He's already had 9. He's already
But
scored 9 goals.
hence why I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. They'd benefit from having a consistent run of games.
This is
Well,
Gakpo
hold on,
will
hold on,
score.
Jerry.
small.
Jerry,
This
it
is only a
isn't
small
just that.
sample size.
But it isn't just like I 100% agree with you, Jerry. I think that one of them needs to have a consistent run. But I think that the bigger thing is that if we had a better 9 who was in there more consistently, they would benefit, right? Like when you look
100%.
at when you look at us in our absolute peak, Mane did so good because Bobby Firmino is in the middle. Salah did so good because Bobby Firmino is in the middle, right? Because there's a threat in each position, right? At this point right now, when a team looks at us, it's Mo Salah, and then depending on the day, I don't know how much coffee they drank this morning, Diaz might show up, Gakpo might show up, right? So to me, if you get a 9, I think that you are going to get more output out of both Gakpo and Diaz. I don't think, number one, it's fair to criticize them this harshly because of the fact that neither of them have been super consistent. And number two, there's a giant hole in the middle of the pitch between them and the best right winger in the world. And unfortunately, Darwin Nunez, not good enough, and Diogo Jota, I mean, it's funny because his injuries all seem to be because of a tackle. And sometimes it's not even that bad. If a guy just falls on him the wrong way, he's out for 3 months. If we went out there,
He punched his lung, to be fair.
I mean, he came down on him with his elbow.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
watch
mean,
the replay.
I am being a little bit harsh, but I'm viewing it throughout his whole history. I'm not just to me, the majority of his injuries have not been muscle related. They've been, on the field, physical altercation. But ultimately, you get a better 9 in there, Gakpo and Diaz will produce more because it'll spread the defense more. They'll have more space to create, and ultimately they'll have someone that they can trust to feed the ball into, and maybe they'll score. Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe Gakpo feels like he can't trust Nunez, so he has to force himself to, for these outside of the box shots. Maybe Luis Diaz feels like he can't trust Darwin Nunez, so he always has to look to the other side of the pitch and try to play the hero ball.
This is very fair point.
To Mohamed Salah.
Can I just say one thing about Gakpo? One thing I do like about Gakpo recently is he seems to have perfected that like back post run. You know, like that Sterling like 15 goals a season type shit, where it's just like back post run and Mo's finding him every time. Yeah. Mo's literally finding him every time, like, and I really like that from him. Like the goal against Real Madrid. Yeah, actually, yes, Real Madrid. The goal against Real Madrid, the goal against Man City, the goal against in the last game against Fulham. It's like the same exact type of goal. He's like he just looks at Mo. Mo makes that pass, and Gakpo's like on that back post run, ready to just pounce on it. And I think maybe this is the difference between them. Everyone here makes valid point. Look, Jerry's right. They haven't really had a consistent run of form. Like, okay, you're going to get 10, 15 games in a row. Show us what you're capable of. And the truth of the matter is because probably their levels are quite similar, to be honest with you. Like, it's just, maybe Gakpo's probably a better finisher and a better shooter, but then you got Diaz, who's maybe a better passer of the football, a better dribbler, in my opinion.
Diaz is a better goal scorer this season. Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz have both played 15 Premier League games this season. So one's starting, one's coming on the sub, one's starting, one comes on the sub. They're sharing it around you. They both played 15 games this season in Premier League. Cody Gakpo's got 3 goals. Diaz has got 5. And they both got 9. They both equal 9 in all competitions. So...
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Jamie, just to even your point. I'm saying...
Yeah, but Diaz has scored all of his goals in 5 games.
It's fine. And I think if even you look at with Diaz as an example, Cody Gakpo's conversion rate's 18.75 and Diaz's is 31.25. So when people are talking about Gakpo getting goals and assists, the more it's a law of averages, isn't it? He takes more shots.
But can I tell you why I think that's a skewed stat? It's because Gakpo takes a lot more shots. Diaz is not a willing shooter like that.
But that's what I'm saying. But shooting always isn't the best option as well. You talk about Trent doing the hero ball.
Sometimes he doesn't have another option, though.
What Jerry's saying is that Diaz is more clinical.
No. I'm not even trying to. I'm saying this season he has been. But what I'm trying to say is more so is that again, it's more supporting Mike Daz's point. It's the fact that they're not getting a consistent run, but then you haven't got a forward that they can link up with. So it's like you actually don't know their benefits because Salah, but Salah still, the whole team's still geared towards Salah. When you look at Diaz cutting sides, he looks to find Salah 9 times out of 10, he doesn't look to go and shoot, as an example. So,
But
when-
it's like here's the thing with Mo. He's actually trying to find these guys. Like he's fully playing the balls in behind. He's fully crossing. He's fully trying to get into this like playmaking like side of him.
Yeah.
But once again, you know, same old stories.
He's provided 9 assists for Gapco. So Gapco's on the end of
No,
his
I
crosses.
hear it. There is a genuine argument to be made that as a clinicalness aside, look, forget conversion rate, because I feel like Diaz, a lot of the times, he might cut in once and not shoot. Diaz might cut in and then decide he wants to cut in again, and then cut in again, and then cut in again, and then pass. With Gakpo, he just takes a touch, cut in, yalla, I'm going to shoot. That's why maybe the conversion rate stat is a bit skewed. They had very similar, I look at the big chances thing a bit more than conversion rate. They had very similar, like, big chances converted versus missed last season, which is like, listen, they're not average wingers, but they're not elite wingers. They're in the middle. They're like very good, you know, in that category, if you would like, you know. And I think that's something which actually you could work with, which comes back to Mike's point, which is, listen, we get a striker that can score 20 goals a season. We win the league. Like, it's as simple as that. Even with Diaz and Gakpo current numbers, if they just produce similar numbers from
they will go up.
Season,
they will go up.
We literally win the league.
LK, big up LK. Gapco, when he starts, 13 games, 8 goals, 3 assists. When he comes on as a sub, 8 games, no goals, 1 assist.
Do you know, I literally did the working out for it. So in terms of like games started and goals, I don't know if you guys want to make sense of it, but Luis Diaz, 22 games he's played, 15 starts, 9 goals, 2 assists. So in the 15 starts he's had, he scored 9 goals and 2 assists. Cody Gakpo has played 24 games, 13 starts, 9 goals, 3 assists. So in 13 games he started, he scored 9 goals and 3 assists.
Who are the goals against?
It's across the Premier League, Champions League, and League Cup.
Leverkusen. I can name them. Leverkusen, Manchester City, Real Madrid.
There's 9
But now
what you'd have to name 18 teams right now.
Now
just need context on things.
No. Now what you'd have to do is compare that, guys. Now you'd have to do is compare that against the other left wingers in the league in terms of, and just compare what their numbers are like. To see.
Okay, look, let me just end this. Let me just end it on this part, because I don't want to keep you guys for too long. I know it's late over there as well.
I'm all right. Let's go.
I want to go to every single one of you guys. Just give me your lineup.
Jamie's ready to carry on.
I could go for hours. I could go for hours. You get a better 9, everyone gets better.
I think we should have, Sam. You know why? Because I feel like now you have to compare them numbers against the other left wingers. Because we were saying that they're not. But here, when Mike guys are doing shit, then they're doing enough.
But Endz, here's the thing. Hear what I just said. When Mike brought up that point of the striker point, that's why I'm a lot more inclined to upgrade on striker than I am on winger. Like, okay, here's the thing. Can we all acknowledge that the 5 other than Mo are all upgradable on? Is this reality? Can we all agree that it's like you can upgrade on Diaz, you can upgrade on Gakpo, you can upgrade on Jota, you can upgrade on Nunez, you can upgrade on Chiesa. They're all upgradable on. The problem with Mo is okay, but here's the thing with Mo, obviously the issue
who is the upgraded left winger?
You can't. It's nearby impossible to upgrade on him. So let's put to the other 5. Yeah. Every single one of them is upgradable on, okay? But with Gakpo and Diaz, they're in the very good category. They're not elite, they're not unbelievable, they're not unstoppable, and they're not shit. They're very good. Now I look at my 2 strikers. One guy's an unbelievable finisher, but is always injured. The other guy, there's no need to say anything anymore. It's pointless. So that's why for me, Mike's point actually makes sense, because sometimes I look at the left winger, I'm like, maybe they just don't trust who's playing down the middle when Nunez is there. I'm actually not even scapegoating. I'm being dead serious. Maybe they just, and you know, one thing, I don't know who pointed it out last week. I think it was either G or it was either one of you guys here. It's like, as soon as one of them gets the ball forward line, it's like everyone's just looking for dad. Everyone's just looking like, oh, I'm going to give it to Mo. I'm going to give it to Mo. Every time like they get the ball, they're looking for Mo. But at the same time, you should be able to trust your striker enough to try look for him too. But I don't think we have that right now. That's why if you offer me a striker or a winger right now, I'm choosing striker all day. I'm choosing a striker.
But
Oh,
That's
Husam,
my logic.
the one piece of there that I have to push back on is that I don't think.
How
that
do you
there
push
are
back
many-
on your own point that I agreed
Well,
with?
because again, you took
He made the point. I agreed with it, and he says I'm gonna push back.
Well,
You
allow me to
understand?
finish. Allow me to
I
finish.
agreed with you, and he
Allow me
said
to
I'm gonna
finish,
push back.
Husam. Allow me to finish because your point wasn't just my point. Your point wasn't just my point. You
Mike
started
just
off
wants to
with
argue,
something.
bro.
You started off with something that wasn't my point, and then you brought into my point, right? Yes, my point stands. The striker will make both sides of the pitch better. A better striker, you will get more output from Luis Diaz and Cody Gakpo because you will get more space. And if you give those guys more space and more decisions to make, they will output more. But the thing is that I don't think that there is a realistic upgrade on the left side. So I don't even think that should be a part of the conversation. Like, who in world football are you telling me that realistically you could go out and sign and it would be an improvement on Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz on that left-hand side? Because I can never pronounce his name right. Kvaratskhelia is not the same. Yeah, he's not the same player that he was 2 seasons ago.
Have some shame and decorum and respect Kvaradona, please.
Okay.
You need,
okay.
you want to know.
Again, I don't put
promise
players
you
on
haven't
pedestals.
watched
I
5
view them on
Napoli
their
games
form.
over the
I view
last
them
2
on.
years.
Okay, but Husam, here's the thing though. When someone becomes the captain of Twitter for a season, and then all of a sudden that entire narrative just completely dissipates, that tells me something. I don't need to watch.
But you know who that describes? Leao, not Kvaratskhelia.
Which is fine. But
I would
can
take
say the same thing
Kvaratskhelia
for both of
all
them.
day.
Sure, which is ultimately okay. But I think that that's far less realistic than improving on the central position.
Which you
on the
agreed with me
striker
on, but
position.
you said I'm gonna push back. There you
But
go.
I pushed back on the preliminary point before you went to my point. So again, you're gaslighting a little bit.
No, I just here's my point. All I'm simply saying is 5 of our 6 forwards are upgradable on. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I want to upgrade
I
on.
think 2 of
I
them.
think 5 of them
Realistically,
are
I think
upgradable on.
only 2 of them.
Jota, when he's available, very difficult to upgrade on. Agreed. But the problem is when he's available. That's the issue
That is
that I
the
have.
problem, yeah.
Let me get all of your starting lineups, every single one of you, and your predictions, please. So we start off with Raks. Raks, listen, just forget the cryptograph. Focus with us, Habibi. Tell me your starting lineup and your prediction.
Allison, Robertson, Gomez, Van Dijk, Trent, Gravenberch, what's his name? Argentinian bloke. What's his name?
McAllister.
McAllister.
It's too late. It's too late.
The Argentinian bloke.
I call him Ginger Bloke. But
Argentinian bloke.
Szoboszlai, Diaz, Salah, and
Jota.
The Portuguese bloke.
no, I'm deciding whether I want to go Jota or Gakpo.
You want to play
would-
Diaz down the middle?
Possibly, but
Ooh.
I'll start with Gakpo and then see what happens.
Prediction?
4-0. After you said minimum 3-0. No.
Same question to you, Jamie.
I reckon 3-1. 3-1.
3-1. Okay.
Yeah, Allison, I think it'd be Trent and Robbo in the fullback areas, Gomez and Virgil. Midfield will be McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai. And then I think because they ain't going to play centre-backs, they're going to play a midfielder there. I think he goes Luis Diaz in the 9, Gakpo on the left, Salah on the right.
Prediction?
5-3 Liverpool.
Damn. Okay. By the way, guys, this is what you would do. So don't do the whole slot will do this. I want your opinion. Kmack.
Okay, what I would do.
Yes.
Okay,
What
I
Kmack
like
would do.
this. I like this because this is what I would do. Ali in goal. Trent, Quansah, Virgil van Dijk, Gomez. I wouldn't play Curtis Jones because he might lose his head because of the last game against Tottenham. So I'll play Mack, Gravenberch, Elliot. And I'd also have Gakpo, Jota, and Salah.
Okay. Ends.
I told you mine. Alisson, Trent, Robbo, Gomez, Virgil, Gravenberch, Mac, Sobbo, Salah, Diaz, Jota.
Okay. Prediction.
3-1.
3-1. Okay. JJ. I was about to call you Jamie. Jerry, sorry.
Alisson, Trent. Don't really like Gomez's performances recently. I'm going to go Kwanzaa, Verge, Tsimikas, midfield, Gravenberch, Jones, McAllister. If Jones is fit, I'm not sure if he's fit or not because of that ankle injury. If not, it will be Soboslai. And then Salah, Jota, with Gakpo, I'll probably start.
Prediction.
3-2 or 3-3. I hope 3-2.
Mike.
I think me and Jerry might have the same one, but I'll just say it again. Alisson, Trent. I'd probably just start. I would start Joe Gomez. Not because of defensively, but because I don't necessarily trust Kwanzaa with the ball as much as I trust Joe, and I think that we're going to have a lot of possession in this game. Virgil, Tsimikas. Since I'm playing Tsimikas, if Curtis Jones is fit, I'd have Curtis Jones be my left-handed midfielder because I think that he covers better. I think that when Tsimikas and McAllister are on the pitch, that right-hand side is for the opposition team. It's a little more leaky. Gravenberch, Soboslai, and then up top I would go Luis Diaz on the left, Jota down the middle, and Salah on the right.
And prediction?
I
think it's going to be 3-0.
Does anyone think he might play a more
Endo?
No, not Endo. I was going to say, do anyone think he might play a more attacking based player in the 10 because we're going to play counter attack against Spurs? I don't think we're going to play.
Elliot.
I wonder if, because I don't think we're going to play possession based against Spurs. I think we all know what Spurs are going to do, and their weakness is against counter attacks. So is there a world where he could play Salah, Diaz, Gakpo, and Jota as the front four?
Ooh.
Oh, there is definitely the world that
just play counter attacking football.
So then, who's the midfield?
I hear you, but
McAllister and
you're taking way too big of a risk. That's the only thing I'd say.
And then
you're also asking Gravenberch and McAllister to put a graveyard shift in, which going to be huffing and puffing by the 70th minute. Let me tell you my starting 11 and my prediction. I'm going to go for Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Gomez, Tsimikas, of course, Tsimikas Nation, rise. Gravenberch, McAllister. I'm going to go Curtis Jones. I think he's probably a bit better for this game than Soboslai. I'm going to go Mo on the right. I'm going to go on the left Diaz, just because Pedro Porro exists. And I'm going to go for Diogo Jota up top. And I'm going to predict a 5-1 Liverpool win. I think this will be an absolute slapping. I think we're worried about these bunch of useless frauds for no reason whatsoever. I watched their performance yesterday. Listen, they've got Fraser Forster in net. I'm telling my forwards, anytime you get the ball, if you don't shoot, I'm giving you a fine for every time you don't shoot.
Can I make one small prediction, Husam?
What's the prediction?
That I know that you're going to absolutely fucking hate. I think that Spurs are going to play open. It's going to get to the end of the game. It's going to be even more open. And because we have a bag of glass at the 9, Darwin Nunez is going to have to come on. And when he comes on, I think he's going to end up scoring a goal. So there you go.
Okay, guys. Listen.
Why do you have to end it like that?
This guy gets pissed off every time I introduce him as the Nunez guy. But with me, you cannot fool me. Telling you right now, you cannot fool me. You see this little spy, this little snake in the grass between us. I tell you all, I introduced him as the Nunez guy for a reason, because he acts like he's had enough and he acts like he's done with him. And then he always comes in at the end of every stream and suggests something positive is going to come out of Nunez. Thank you, FK. That's my point. You all heard what the guy said. He says Jota's made from glass. We're going to be 4-1 up by the time. We don't need Nunez to come on. It's okay. Keep him for
Keep him for Accrington up against the wall here. This isn't a firing squad. I just said that the guy's going to come on late and get a goal that doesn't matter. That's it.
Have some shame. Have some shame. Have some shame and some decorum. You're so shameless. You did 2 hours and 1 minute. Perfection, Mike. We agreed on it. Then you did that shit at the end, just stabbed me in the back. You know,
it's called manifestation. Okay, I'm trying to manifest a better player. That's it. That's all it is. Positive speaking.
There is a bigger chance of me dating a model than you watching Nunez score this Sunday. How about that? It's not gonna happen.
I think Elliot will score more than Nunez.
I agree. 100%. 100%. Panel, do you think FSG will buy players in January?
Yeah.
No.
Listen, I'm getting more and more shit news every day about the January window, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. I hope one day they wake up and smell the coffee. But there's a reason why the Salah and Van Dijk contracts haven't been announced. You guys know the PR game, so get ready. I'd start Curtis Jones, revenge. You need to stop this dramatic movie bullshit, Redline Taranga. The reason why I would start Curtis Jones is he's a lot better on the ball than Soboslai, not for revenge. Hey, bring the sword and the shield. Let's go get revenge. You're so dramatic. You're so dramatic, Redline, honestly.
I think Soboslai's ball carrying against Spurs will be more important.
Yes, but then Curtis Jones can just pass it around them. You want to press? No problem. I'm press resistant. Boom, pass left. Let's go. Big up to him again. It says, it's Spurs. Have some shame. Yeah, I agree. That's why I said 5-1. I think we're going to burn down that stadium this Sunday, to be honest with you. So, yeah, big up, man. This was a very fun, entertaining stream. I can't lie to you. Anyway, listen. Big up to every single one of you guys. Make sure guys are slapping the like button. Make sure guys are subscribing on your way out. I'm going to be back, inshallah, tomorrow for Aston Villa, Man City, and Arsenal Palace. And I've got a whole panel coming on as well at 11 p.m. UK time to discuss the Premier League games tomorrow. We're just 5 likes away from 300. Let's get there before the stream ends. So please do like the video right now. Just close your live chat and like the video. The results of our poll, 250 votes, 75% say Tsimikas, 25% say Robertson. Robertson, it's time to go, buddy. It's time to go. It's all over. It's all over. Anyway, Football with Endz is in the description. Please go subscribe. Kmack channel is in the description. Please go subscribe. Jamie Phillips Football Chats is in the description. Go subscribe. Jerry James's channel is also in the description. Go subscribe. Go subscribe to Mike Das LFC as well. And go follow Raks on Twitter and tell him to stop using crypto on a Liverpool stream. Anyway, love you all. You get me? Guys, I'm sorry.
Don't buy the Hoctor one.
I know he's my brother, but you know that Hoctor girl. This guy bought the cryptocurrency that she released, and that's why he's upset right now. Anyway, see you guys later, man. Peace out.
Up the Reds.